Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast. Coming at you from the dank in Newtown, this is the Simpsons Index, and I am your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. And joining me in the dank today for episode 41 is...
In a war-torn world, there was a single flower blooms, and that flower is an angry Japanese monster named Godzilla.
And...
Hello!
And finally...
Hi, it's Attorney at Law Lionel Hutz. Podcast reviewed in half an hour, all your pizza's free.
That's a good deal. All right, and for long-time listeners, you'll know these familiar voices as Danny, Shez, and Beach.
No.
And yes, this is the Simpsons Index, the podcast where we review 3 episodes of Simpsons at a time. The catch is they each all come from a different decade. Surprise, surprise.
You don't say.
Aroused gasp. Is that what that sounds like?
Disappointed!
And Kevin Sorbo's joined us today.
Face!
And Tim Curry. Wow, this is a star-studded lineup.
I got you on Tim Curry's face. It's my favorite thing.
Spies.
We watched an episode from the HD era. It was season 21, episode 9, titled Thursdays with Abie.
Abie.
Oh, that would have been such a better title, like Dear Abie. Have they done that before?
No, they reference the title in the episode later on with Thursdays with Maury. I'm guessing that's where it comes from. I don't know what that is. Do your research, fucking asshole. And this was released originally in January 2010, and it was written by Don Payne and Mitchell Glauser. Guys, Thursdays with Abie, what did you think?
I'm full of disappoint.
No ment?
No, just disappoint.
I didn't mind it. It wasn't great. It was just good. Like Good Friday. It's just good.
Sure.
Not even quite good, but I'll say it's good.
I normally say, well, I don't know about you guys, but I quite enjoyed it. But I didn't quite enjoy it. I just sort of, I sort of enjoyed it.
It exists.
Yeah, I okayed it. Like, there were parts that were good and maybe even parts that'll stick in my mind and become quotable, but ultimately it was a pretty bumpy ride.
It didn't kick me in the balls.
This is going back to what I was saying last time I was on the podcast about the HD era. As soon as you get a reasonably okay one, you think it's good.
Yeah.
Because you're expecting it to be fucking awful.
Yeah.
You're just expecting it to be Lady Gaga waving your boobs in front of your face. But no, this one was very not that.
Yeah. So I
Indeed.
suppose it was reasonable.
So put that on the front of the DVD box.
And
It's
smoke
not
it.
Lady Gaga waving her boobs in your face.
So the episode starts out, the Simpsons family are going to the aquarium. And what do you guys think of the first joke with Marge and the photos?
What was the point?
Was it like one of those dragged out jokes? Like
Yeah.
Family Guy with a knee?
I took a photo of the fat kid eating an ice cream, the Spanish warning instructions, and 5 other things, and then, whoops, deleted them all.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the one thought I had about it was that it runs in the Bouvier family because like it reminded me of Patty and Selma
The
doing a terrible
slideshows.
holiday slideshow.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
I do really like Homer's line where he's like, it's like an amusement park without any of the good rides, or like an aquarium without any of the good fish.
But ample parking.
Yes, and ample is a word that I have only ever heard used preceding parking or bosom.
What else do you need?
Exactly.
Okay. Wow. Hardcore pop quiz. What would you prefer, ample parking or ample bosom?
Oh, God. That's a tough... I'll get back to
I know.
I know, but if there's ample bosom but nowhere to park, what are you going to do with it?
You can't take it out anywhere.
Just drive in circles.
I think all of you need to get out more, to be honest.
Yeah, we've been inside podcasting too long.
There's an outdoor?
I didn't mind the gag with the aquarium sign flipping from, look at all these amazing fish, try the buffet, and it was the same outline of the fish. I thought that was clever.
And also, did you notice the previous sign gag, Wet and Wacky World, formerly John F. Kennedy Naval Museum?
I did not see that.
And I didn't like how Bart went to the Lost and Found. That's not how Lost and Founds work.
Yeah, it's just a big bucket and he pulls something out of it. And ha ha ha. Like,
Yeah, it said sexy grandpa. Joke.
I guess if you want to call that a joke, that's fine.
And they did this thing here where they extended the joke unnecessarily with Homer and the bathing suit thing. It was funny where he was like, oh, we need to go to the splash zone. I got my bathing suit underneath. And then later on, he takes his clothes off. Whoops, no bathing suit.
Wop, yeah.
Might have been funny, but yeah, the delivery was pretty lame.
It was. And then, because they're leaving Grandpa behind on like a bench that looks like a shark and, you know...
Yes, because Grandpa's rambling too much. You go ramble on the bench, Grandpa.
So you know that moment, and maybe you don't, where you're in the discussion about the episode and you feel your rank lock in permanently.
This is pretty early in the discussion.
It just happened.
I always find mine dropping once as soon as you guys start
Dropping,
talking.
yeah, but no, this feels like it's just like slotted in, and I'm like, yep, that's where that's sitting now forever. There's no way out of there.
I wonder what it is. But to earn the key of unlocking Beege's rank, we must
Stay
get through
tuned.
the review. Yeah. What do you guys think of the Slimu bits?
I forgot them. I was bored.
I thought they were going to go into a Lisa B story with
Yeah,
it. And didn't.
felt
Yeah.
like
Really felt like they were talking about how cruel they were treating the octopus. They were doing a lot of this sort of just pushing him onto a pedestal and then poking him with sticks.
because they're doing a whole Shamu trick performance, but it's a squid. But yeah, it felt like the setup for nothing because everyone's like, oh, like they do cut to reaction shots of Lisa being, oh, that's so cruel, but then nothing comes of it.
Yeah, nothing happens.
So yeah, they left Abe Simpson, Grandpa. They left Grandpa on the bench rambling and raving, and then a journalist happens by. Does anyone remember his name, or do we just call him the journalist?
It
for the rest of
Marcus.
this?
Maxwell Goldsman. Marcus Goldman?
Marcus something.
The journalist.
To be
The
fair,
journalist.
you could have just said his name was John Q. Kissenhauer, and I would have believed you because I don't.
His name
remember.
was John Q. Kissenhauer. This was a test, and you passed.
Fuck yeah, I am undefeated.
And that's the end of Simpsons trivia for this week.
Yeah.
So John Q. Kissenhauer comes and finds Abe on a park bench.
Yeah, and they do this like whole romantic sort of implication with Abe in his head going, "Oh, play it cool. Someone wants to talk to you."
Yep.
What,
That was a fair enough joke, but
He's
Yeah.
a lonely man. He's getting contact. There is definitely sort of there is a parallel between a relationship with another man
sure.
and a relationship with a woman.
and there's a callback to all the times he's been ignored. This is a grandpa staple at this point.
Yeah, I actually thought for like the episode's faults that they actually did do a good job of reinforcing this old stereotype pretty organically.
Yep.
Like
And
something we all know about Grandpa inherent to his character, but sort of reinforcing it for the purpose of the episode.
And I would think you get enough in context to know that, even if this is your first episode ever. Yeah.
It shouldn't
I know
be,
when
though.
someone actually pays attention to my stories, I get giddy as a schoolgirl.
I know. That's why I pay attention.
Oh, you.
Shut up,
And
Shaq.
so on.
I love this whole flashback bit, though.
Yes.
Starting out on the USS World War One.
I love the wall music with like the snare drum rolls and
Yeah.
stuff. It was like an episode of Jag.
But yeah, and the torpedo that they launched the previous day that fired back on themselves.
Yeah.
Them learning to ride sharks. And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. By the time they picked us up, we trained those sharks pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm confused. Is Grandpa in the Navy or the Air Force
He's
or
in-
the Army?
he's
Because he's
in
been
what-
in all three at some point.
He's
Whatever
been in
he
all
needs
three
to
at
be
some
in.
point, yeah. It's
Whatever the
answer.
story needs.
General military story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because when an old person is in the war, they don't, it's whatever they need to tell about.
The only thing that I thought was kind of a bit was when they had the sharks spell out SOS. And then
And zooms out.
yeah.
So
'cause
sorry to disturb you, but we need to be rescued.
first problem, they totally shifted the second
S's,
S to
yep.
move out so
Oh,
it
I
was more
noticed.
separated. And also, Futurama did it.
Futurama did it, yeah.
Yeah. Take that. All right, and so this is when the B story kicks in. We might just talk about all the B story now, just to
yeah.
rip off that Band-Aid. Larry the Lamb.
Yeah, so Bart's class has Larry the Lamb, the school mascot that kids get to take home every weekend. And, oh, what do you know? Even though Bart's the only one in the class that doesn't care, Krabappel pulls his name out of the cup. And then it's, oh, you got to take Larry home. And
Yeah, and fill out his diary. And another bit that bugged me here was like, oh, and here's Martin's entry from last week, and he took the lamb skydiving. Okay, kids can't go skydiving, 1, unassisted, 2.
lambs can't use a parachute. 3,
Yeah, that lamb is dead.
they're all dead.
Oh, you guys. You guys. Did Martin hold the phone that took the selfie, or did his diving instructor take the selfie? I think both
diving
Martins.
instructor.
Yeah.
Must have been.
Anyway, the joke that I really liked with Larry the Lamb
Thank you.
was a in the background joke. The one crossover between the two stories was when Homer was complaining about Grandpa being famous and blah 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 blah, and in the background you've got Bart frying Larry the Lamb.
Oh, yeah.
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 That was good. That's probably my favorite part of the episode.
It
Which
was
is
just
sad.
straight out, like, pointlessly malevolent.
Yeah.
Just mindless as well. I love it.
Gotta do something with this lamb.
I
Making
really
lamb's fry.
didn't like Nelson bullying Bart about it. Like, I mean, Nelson loving the lamb, that was a nice bit. When he went, he's all like, oh, if the lamb disappears, I'm going to go so crazy. People ain't seen how crazy I'm going to go. That was kind of cool and dark.
The whole background turns black on him when he's
Yeah. But then when he was
Nelson loved a little lamb.
dark as shit.
Okay, everyone at home, make a clip of that and then just play that at like a very low volume in the
Elliot,
room of someone
remix.
you hate.
Remix. But I really didn't like the way that he was like towering over Bart's shoulder, being all like, oh, more adjectives. No, that's an adverb. Nelson doesn't know that shit.
No.
Nelson doesn't care about that shit.
No. Yeah, Nelson's all, gonna punch you in the crap factory. He's not. He doesn't know what an adjective is. Neither does Bart.
No one really knows what adverbs and adjectives are.
Words.
Scholars maintain
Yeah.
that the meanings have been lost in the mists of time.
Words don't mean anything.
An
It's a
old
myth.
wooden ship.
Diversity.
Which one of those was the adverb and which was the adjective? We're not getting into grammar lessons today.
Good.
Larry's story, what annoyed me with this is that, so if you're going back to the Nelson thing, there should have been a confrontation. Like, so many things happen in this episode where things are alluded to and then it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It happened with Slimu, happened with Nelson, and then nothing
happened
happened.
with Larry. Like,
Happened with Larry.
sorry, you listeners at home, I'm cutting to the end of the Larry bit.
But do it.
Yeah, because it was pretty boring. Lisa drops him down the hole, down the sewer. There's the adventure down the sewer. That was kind of cool, exciting, sort of classic Simpsons-y stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Escapes the rats and then
escapes
finds the
rats,
cats.
finds the cats, escapes the cats with Larry in the dramatic swing down the thing.
Which
Larry
was such a Deus Ex lamb move.
Oh, classic Deus Ex Lamb. But Larry gets torn in half. Everyone saw it coming. They fly out the thing. Not Krabappel.
Agnes Skinner.
Agnes is all like, I want to fuck this guy named Larry.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Yeah, because it was a callback to when Lisa was talking about Larry as he just fell down the sewer.
And then, is there a resolution? I felt like Larry
there
didn't get
no.
stitched together. They didn't go
None.
back to
That was
class.
it.
There was no
That
end
was-
to that story.
Nelson didn't
I-
beat the crap out of him. Nothing happened.
No, I noticed Larry the Lamb is just sitting stitched together on the couch next to Grandpa while Homer's doing his rant.
But no classroom wrap-up. to
No.
that.
Yeah, no.
That's poor writing, guys. Not you guys, those guys. Poor writing, guys.
Yeah, it's a B story without a conclusion. You had a climax. You had a height of the complication, but then there's no conclusion to it. It's just, and everything's fine.
Yeah. Did what about Wiggum being like, look, where are the above ground police? You need to talk to the sewer police. By the way, Lisa, you're old enough now. There are no sewer police.
I like the beginning of that. It was like, I'm the above ground police. You need to talk to the sewer police. That was kind of a good joke.
Yeah, cut it there, right?
Yeah,
it was
but then
just
it
too many more
Went
beats.
on. It was like, no, this is.
And like he essentially said "fuck you" to her at the end as
Yeah.
well. Fuck you, fuck your problems. I'm Chief Wiggum.
maybe you can go.
Wiggum out.
See, that would have been funny. Fuck
Yes.
you, Lisa. I'm Wiggum.
Wiggum out. Oh, I love it. But no, he was like, well, maybe if you hold your head over the toilet, you can hear Bart crying himself to sleep.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, scream into a toilet. That's his fuck you. The last thing I want to say about this Larry bit is the other thing I didn't like is Bart was so like cruel to the stuffed toy, you know, frying it as you said before, using it as Santa's little helper's chew toy.
Yep.
He showed no indication that he cared about the fact that other people liked the lamb. If he wanted to really show that, it would have just been indifference. Like, he didn't notice that Santa's little helper had gotten it, or he didn't notice that all of a sudden Homer was frying it.
Yeah.
Or something
By the
like
end,
that.
suddenly he did care about everyone else. He's like, well,
Yeah.
I don't care, but everyone else does.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like, why the turnaround? If it was at least
Yeah.
a threat
Why
from
the
Nelson,
turnaround?
And they
there's
didn't.
enough.
They didn't even turn that into a lesson learned. It was just like,
No.
oh, okay, that's the way you feel. The
Yeah.
end.
No, it just got magically stitched together and, yeah, implied ending.
Yeah, it's pretty much, I don't care about this thing. Hey, don't break it, even though I was just breaking it. Oh, now I give a shit. Oh, it's over.
Conclusion.
Wig 'em out.
Yeah, Larry the Lamb storyline. Lame.
Larry
Moving
the
on.
lame.
Larry. Oh.
Yeah, switch that B for
It's
an
usually
E.
Elliot's job to make
I
those
know,
kinds of
but I'm
jokes.
staring at you when I say that because that was your fault. You set that up, but I just knocked it down.
That seems like
sorry.
victim blaming.
It is victim blaming.
In this context,
How
it's
rude.
true.
All right, so now let's jump back to the A story. That's it for anyone else, Larry the Lamb. That was
That's literally everything
Fuck Larry
that
the Lamb.
happens.
Oh, we didn't talk about like how Lisa's freaking out when she lost it, and she like sticks cotton wool to toilet paper, and then there's that shot of her just like stapling the bag closed with mania. The staples ever. Who hasn't ever made a bag with staples just all over that shit?
Yeah.
Just like, nope, you ain't looking in there.
Dual-wielded staplers just keep people out of it. Yeah.
And the part where Ned Flanders tells Homer that his dad's been published in the paper. I thought they, again, sort of had a good thing where Homer was like, oh, Dad's interesting, good, but then dragged it on too long with, I wonder if Kathy is funny. Nope.
Yeah.
Best part about that was the holding the Flanders family reunion mug.
Oh, I didn't notice
Yeah, I
that.
thought as he
Molly's
turned
talking to
around,
Flanders.
it
With his
looked like he was trying
to
turn
hide
it
it.
to hide it,
but then
but
didn't.
the next shot he didn't.
With his cup of bacon fat.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie,
Oh,
I do
yuck.
like any digs made at the comic strip Kathy, because Kathy is a bad comic strip.
I don't actually know it.
It's bad.
I've seen it once or twice.
It's the Big
It is
Bang
bad.
Theory of comic strips.
To our
Oh.
Kathy strip reading audience, you guys got to read some better comics. I'm sorry.
The Kathy Strip Index.
Oh,
They're all shite!
They're all shite.
But is that the one from 30 Rock where they go chocolate, chocolate, chocolate?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Now I know it.
Yeah, so make that 6 times longer and the same punchline. That's what a Kathy strip is.
Act 2 begins out with Grandpa once again regaling the journalist, but this time with the story of he was a shoe shine in like Hollywood or whatever.
Shoeshine in the Springfield train station, and he serviced the train that was going to Hollywood.
Yep. Underneath all this was the famous Chattanooga Choo Choo song.
Yep.
classic.
Pardon me, boy.
How does that song go again? I can never remember.
Choo-choo. Rail 43. It tastes so good to me.
I thought it was track 29.
Shut the fuck up, Elliot.
What was the ad that used that song? Is that a
SPC
Goulburn
fruit.
Valley?
Goulburn Valley fruit. Something
Is that a
about
Goulburn
pipe.
Valley something?
Choo choo.
Something.
Slippery little
Tastes like
sucker.
some kind of fruit.
It had the awesome foursome rowing team.
Yep.
That was a terrible ad.
It's
Moving on.
Hey.
a tacky song.
You remember it.
It's true.
So I didn't really think much of the sight gags of like all the stars coming in and
Nah.
doing a little animation and then moving on.
This is the thing I'm known for.
Yeah.
Bye.
I liked the newspaper that said bike wheels now the same size.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
missed that, but
I
that's
missed
good.
that. That's good.
No more
It's a
penny
classic
farthings.
bit in The Simpsons that when you flash back, you do some sort of weirdly overt thing. It's the only
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
anyone this generation remembers about the old generation. They had
Mm.
big wheels, now they got small wheels.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I really wonder how that transition went.
How many of those celebrities could you name? Coming off the
Shirley
train.
Temple, Charlie Chaplin. I think there was a Abbott and
Abbott and
Costello.
Costello.
Yep.
Fred
Oh.
Astaire,
And then Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, excuse me.
I think it was.
He gets that all
the
the
butler from the Addams Family.
He was an
Jeeves.
Lurch.
Lurch.
It wasn't Lurch.
No, the Lurch.
Oh
Maybe-
yeah,
maybe
the
one of
bolts.
the
He had the
monsters.
bolts.
Neck
Yeah.
bolts.
Yeah.
Mm.
Dead giveaway.
Yep. But I did like when Grandpa met Clark Gable and gave him Gone with the Wind.
It was okay.
Oh, come on. Clark Gable's delivery of, I like this book. Okay, let's see. Garbage, garbage, my line, garbage,
Yes,
garbage.
that was good.
Yeah. I feel like Clark Gable's voice wasn't really a good Clark Gable thing. It was just like which of the standard 5 Simpsons voices can we slot
Yeah.
in here?
Yeah, it just felt like Hank Azaria doing an old-timey voice.
Yeah. That was retarded, by the way, because in the one sentence he went, "The most exciting thing that ever happened to me was meeting Clark Gable." Clark Gable, you're some guy from an extra in the thing. Why is that the most exciting thing? Yeah, it doesn't matter. You know what? It just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
He finally got to tell the story that he could only tell 60 years later.
Yeah. Well, that means that him meeting the guy in the aquarium is the most exciting thing. 60 years ago, meeting an extra was not exciting. This isn't important. I'm getting distracted from the point. I'm sorry.
You know what?
No, it's worth it, man.
We know the most exciting thing to having a grandpa was the tontine from the Flying Hellfish.
Oh yeah, hands down.
We've seen it. It's amazing.
Hellfish fun and...
I feel like then we cut back to Grandpa and the journalist at the retirement home. He's going on about something. The only part I really remember from this is the guy. I can't remember what he says. This is how forgettable this episode is. The journalist says something. They're all like, "Well, you better leave." And then Jasper and the rest of them are slowly advancing.
Yeah.
It keeps cutting back to him, like not reacting. Jasper's, which I liked. I like Jasper menacing someone in
Is it
incredibly
just
slow
me,
time.
or is Jasper's mate gotten way more Jewish suddenly?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
has as the years have gone on.
Yeah.
And it's become a thing that they make like
Really?
ridiculous
it's not
jokes
just
about.
like because I never remembered him as being Jewish, and now he's suddenly like, oh, a fleckel. Yeah, that's when you take a McCleckel and add a bit of chlech and a bit of
He always had the voice, but they're putting more Jewish lines in there, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it used to be more subtle work, like, hey, can your grandfather do this?
Yeah.
Your great Mary, ain't
what she used to be.
Ain't what she used
and
to
now
be.
the crazy old man singers.
Yeah.
But there's a great one where there's the curfew episode where it ends with everyone under 50 has a curfew, but has the pan out when he's like,
Yeah.
hey, what you do? You kick my pill bottles into the storm drain? What are you doing?
I need those.
When you got that machine and you're trying to breathe, do I come along and kick it?
Wow.
But they're not like, get filter fish.
Yeah,
They're
no,
just-
it's
got
just
that tone
a
of
funny voice.
Yeah.
So they eventually throw out that journalist out of the retirement home.
Yeah, which is a bit of a shame. I hate that it went from him not being intimidated at all from their very slow approach to him being ejected.
Yeah.
Like, I should have just been him, like, casually walking away.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I felt like they did that just so they could cram a Ralph joke in it, and it wasn't funny.
I didn't
No.
remember it.
Clouds are God sneezes.
But why? That has nothing to do with anything.
I'm postulating here because I don't really pay attention to American journalism. But if that was a real journalist, maybe we're making something about his puff pieces being just shitty articles that children are saying. And
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah,
instead
maybe.
of and
Kids
he's
say the
like,
darndest things.
yeah. So maybe this guy is like, I actually don't know enough about him, but maybe he's always writing bullshit puff pieces and
And what better puff piece than a cloud?
yeah.
True. When was this episode
Beautiful,
released?
beautiful magic.
When was this episode?
2010.
7,012.
No, I was just going to say, because there was, I think, like 2005, there were two shows where just don't kids say wacky shit.
Yeah.
There's like Kids Speak and Kids Say the Darndest Things.
Yep.
Oh, with
Rapey McGee.
Yeah.
Rapey McGee.
Pre-creepy Rapey McGee.
Yeah.
But,
Billy Crystal.
oh, well, don't besmirch Billy Crystal.
Billy
No.
Holiday.
Oh, come on, man. Get your Billies right.
Billy Elliot.
The Homer and his commitment ring with his grandpa, hated
Stupid.
that bit.
Stupid.
All right, let's move on from that now.
Yeah.
Also, the other thing I hated that they do a lot where Homer goes, how can anyone get mad at himself? And he launches into this big emotional flipping. I'm mad at you. No, I'm really. But no, you're so cute.
And then he breaks the mirror. And
Lame.
That's obnoxious.
would have been enough just have him look at the mirror and be like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, I can be like,
By now, it's a classic Homer trope, though.
Yes.
This is equivalent to him being like, in my gumdrop hat on Lollipop Lane, taking his argument to Flights of Fancy.
but not nearly well as executed.
Yeah.
no, and like sometimes, like when he does his like rambling bits where muttering, like that can work. But I don't like the emotional flips.
I
Yeah.
do when they're done well. But
That's
that's
it.
rare these days. Like, that's the thing.
So rare.
We're jerk-ass era Homer. So it's...
So Homer decides to get back at his father by interviewing Mr. Burns, and I loved all of this.
Oh, yeah. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Everything Burnsian is the best.
As soon as Burns came on screen, I was looking at you, Beej. Just the whole time.
He
just
opens.
like, how's he going to react?
He
Is he going to
opens
like it?
with a line, and that's how you win an opium war.
Yes,
Oh
exactly.
my God! The Yangtze, please.
No, go for it.
The Yangtze River hides all secrets, eats soul. I haven't got it.
So disturbing.
My God!
I've had such a lovely day. I'm just going to release one hound.
Oh, look at him. He thinks he's a pear.
and goes, yeah. And Homer's like, well, no waste, no haste. He goes, well, these days I don't make either.
Yeah, that was a good line.
oh man, that was amazing. All right, so we've just covered the best part of this episode.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, everyone. The rest of this is going to be shit.
It's
Yeah.
not shit. It's just
Mediocre.
forgettable.
Mediocre.
Well, I like the bit where Homer does take the interview with Burns to the paper or whatever, and they immediately take it to the shredder.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny, and a decent enough way for Homer to stumble upon the killing plot.
I know that when I'm planning a murder, the first thing I do is leave 7 separate pieces of evidence in my unlocked office at a workplace with like 30 other people working there.
And the music on a constant loop in your office playing dun dun dun.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know. I go to a graphic designer to design the cover of my incriminating evidence.
yeah. They aren't gonna. They don't tell.
No.
The Yangtze River hides all secrets.
When does a print copier ask, oh, so is this person writing a book about still alive?
So is this business, personal, or murder?
I do want to start playing that music on a loop in my own office. I feel it would make my day infinitely more exciting.
It really would.
Dun, dun, dun.
I had so many shocking realizations today.
Exactly. Every time I get an email now.
Don't do it.
You just need a big red button you carry it around with you, and it's like, Shadow needed you to stay behind a bit tonight. Dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
Oh, sorry. And that's how you win an opium war. Oh, great stuff. And the life lesson is the Yangtze River swallows all secrets.
Awesome. But yeah, so once Homer discovers that the journalist is going to kill Abe, from this point on, when they cut back to Abe's taking like a railroad trip with the journalist, and the journalist is just making so many obvious hints at that
suddenly
now.
he's really bad at hiding the motive that he was doing fine at hiding until now.
Yep.
So the train trip, though, is the last trip of that train
Yeah.
that Abe
It's
used
quite a
to
poetic
shoeshine
place to
next
die.
to.
I mean, that's a
It
lovely
is.
plan.
And I do kind of like that setup where the guy even says, the last trip of the Tinseltown Express. Everyone who wants to have fun memories better get on now.
And then they're beating up Mo because he doesn't have a ticket, but they're beating him up old-timey style.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't like that, but I think his line there holds a bit of significance at the moment for a very different reason.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Mitch brought it up.
Yep. So he's getting beaten by old school train teamsters, and he's like, well, you can't get this kind of beating on airlines. And we're all just like, ha ha, United.
Yeah.
Watch us jump a bandwagon, fans.
Fuck, Beach. The amount of flights that we took into America where when we were checking in, do you want to have a different flight because this one's overbooked? Fucking hell. We
Yeah.
really dodged a fucking...
It's common practice
Beating.
over there.
We dodged
But
a beating.
apparently they offered, so, first of all, they said, does anyone want to
Yeah.
get off and take another flight? And then they started offering money. And so at the end, apparently they were offering $800 for someone to get off the flight. I'd fucking get off the
I'm surprised
flight.
no one did, but
Yeah.
even then...
Even then, you still don't beat someone up. But I'm saying I'm surprised no one took it.
No.
I wouldn't.
It's a lot of money.
Look, I'm going to say this outright. If someone says to me, would you like $800 to not be beaten? I'll take it.
Yeah.
Every single time.
So Homer comes along to save the day. I like how he was trying to do a train by chase with a Segway.
Oh, I completely missed that.
Why, though?
Because Segways are stupid, I guess.
Because, they exist now. They can totally catch trains.
Yeah.
And Larry and Carl appear at... Lenny and Carl appear out of nowhere, and Lenny didn't have
Yeah.
muzzle in this first shot. I want to point that out.
Didn't have...
I hope someone was fired for bat plunder.
Well, just the fact they drop in out of nowhere was really weird.
And then we got yoga. There's another teacher. As long as it's not a dude. So lame.
I did kind of like... I didn't like the dialogue, but I like the idea that they're constantly doing the... Going too far away, so I got it.
Yeah.
Conversation keeps going.
Doppler conversation.
Yeah, no, I like that bit. I just wish the joke in it had been funnier, but I like the concept.
It's hard to beat. Lisa. Sounded really cool in our headphones.
Batman's a scientist.
So yeah, Homer comes to save the day, and they bring back the whole Abe playing possum, and manages to knock the journalist into a bunch of hat boxes,
So many hat boxes.
which was funny-ish.
I suppose. It's not like I've ever used a hat box. It's not particularly relevant to me personally, but...
Sorry, one of my last notes here, and I can't remember the context for it, but it just says, live each moment as if someone was trying to kill you.
That's a good bumper sticker.
It's good, yeah.
What do you think of Homer's old man rant, though?
Fucking hated it so much. It is written on my notes. It has 3 down arrows, which means down arrow 1 is bad. 3 means I went to the effort to just say I hate this 3 times.
I mean, it's on point. It makes sense because that's what Abe does, but it was just annoying in this context.
It was also, they could have chopped it in half. It would have been long enough, and they would have had time to resolve the Larry story in like 15
yes,
seconds.
exactly. Just resolve something. Nothing resolves here. It's really annoying. What happened to the journalist? Is he still under the hat boxes?
No, he's dead. He was killed by hat boxes. You see his foot twitching at the end.
Oh, really?
He's dead.
So he's dead on the train to nowhere.
Hat boxes are lethal, Sheridan.
Larry the Lamb is stitched up somewhere on the couch
Yeah.
and never gets returned to the classroom. And Slimu somehow is in the sewer.
Yeah.
And Nelson is still on the verge of a
Nelson's
psychotic
having
break.
a breakdown.
Yeah.
Nelson's just sharpening an axe.
There is...
It is time for the questionnaire.
It's about time.
So, did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Yeah, it sort of did. It
Yeah.
had all the hallmarks there.
All
you
the
know?
characters are on point. I
The
guess.
aquarium scene, you expect aquariums in The Simpsons for some reason. The sewer chase was very Simpsons-y. Nelson being threatening.
Yeah.
Nelson being having vaguely mental problems.
Yeah.
Lisa taking over Bart's task and still fucking it up.
Still fucking it up.
Yeah, Grandpa being a rambling old man.
Yeah.
For me, the first 5 minutes really felt like one because they're, going to an adventure park and it's like Itchy and Scratchy Land-esque. Like it's one of those episodes that's become like a format almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grandpa's ramblings, clearly made up ramblings being proven true. Totally Simpsons-y trope. The Grandpa Homer Bond thing, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Then like the dramatic sewer chase, so Simpsons-y.
Yeah.
Chasing after the train in like 3 different formats of
Yeah.
transport. It's all there. It's all every Simpsons episode.
It's all there. It just all sucked.
Yeah. Well, it didn't all suck.
No, but just
Bacon.
go with it.
Cup of bacon fat.
Monty Burns was great.
You can't redeem an entire episode because of 1 cup of bacon grease.
The Yangtze River swallows all secrets.
Play count. How many times have you think you've seen this one? I think I've seen it about 4 times. I don't tend to go for this one.
Just this once.
Twice, 3 maybe.
I've seen it once. I'm working on making it a negative once. I'm gonna rewatch it in reverse.
Wackiness.
Hatboxes murdering someone.
I feel like what Daniel was saying before about all the chase sort of stuff being indicative to The Simpsons. I think it was fine. It didn't feel off point.
Yeah, little wacky. I mean, he's on the horse, then he's on the Segway, which he got in the speed of a chase scene. He just happened to have a horse lined up behind the Segway.
Then
The
Lenny
rats
Carl.
and the cats and the octopus
Yeah,
in the sewer.
Some of Grandpa's memories were a bit wacky, but that's so totally
The
Grandpa.
sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's how he's remembering.
That's it. The whole point about the memories is they're questionably true.
But they undid it a little bit by having Grandpa with the photo of the old shark in the wheelchair.
Yeah, proving them right makes them less funny.
Yeah.
I did like the shark with no teeth and the sort of wrinkly lips. So
How are you young sharks these days, Uncle? I want to hear his stories.
How about the heart of this episode?
nope.
Yeah, they didn't really try for it either. There was an implication there'd be a new respect for Grandpa, but
Yeah.
it was more about saving him, not respecting him. So
Yeah, they sort of just dropped the ball on a couple of ideas on this, didn't they?
There was exactly. There was a good opportunity for Bart to have some heart with the Larry the
there
Lamb
was
story.
a
It
setup
didn't
for
go
Bart
anywhere.
to learn
Yeah.
an emotive lesson. There was Lisa and the octopus. That didn't happen.
yeah,
I mean, Homer and Abe, of course. That could work both ways. Like Abe when he's just like, oh, I've got a new son now, and he writes down what I talk. There's lesson for Abe to learn as well about his no good son.
Sure.
But none of it happened.
yeah.
So yes or no, would you watch this again?
Okay, I really got to think the hangover test. How far is the remote from my hungover belly?
Reach out. A little bit further than that.
Okay. If I take my socks off, can I make a makeshift
That
grappling
feels like a
hook?
lot of effort.
Oh, it'll get close, but then it'll fall on the ground. But then it'll roll slightly further away than the first time.
Okay, so then I can take my belt off
Why are you taking your belt off?
so I can get to the remote, Sheridan. Have you never been hungover before?
Why are you wearing a belt in the morning
Because I
when you're
slept in my
hungover?
clothes.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Have you ever been hungover before?
I don't wear belts, okay?
Well, start. Or don't, whatever it's like.
Makes hangovers easier.
You
I'm
be
done
you.
with this episode.
Yeah. So look, personally, I tend to avoid it. I do dip into seasons 21 and 22 quite a bit because they've got some good episodes in it. But no, this episode I tend to avoid, so I'm going to say no, I won't.
I would rather not.
I've just been so long trying to get the remote. By the time I've got it, it's over.
Yeah.
Can I just watch the Burnsy bit?
I know.
Just over and over.
Okay, if that's on YouTube, then no. But if it's not, I will watch it again.
All right, so fuck the playlist. Let's rank this thing! Now, on the Simpsons Index, we use our patented 6-point scale, which starts down the bottom at failure. But maybe if the episode was just like, it gets a participant. And then the good rankings, you got bronze, silver, or if it's...
Chartreuse.
and ochre and yellow and peach and silver and... yeah.
I was enjoying that.
And then for an excellent episode, you'll rank it gold. But then for the perfect, absolute, quintessential Simpsons episode, you would call that a cubic zirconia. And I'm going to show you how it's done. I'm going to go first. And look, this was actually close to being a bronze. But honestly, the more we talk about it, the more I don't like this episode. So I'm giving it a participant. Shez, take it away.
×2. Nothing more to say.
All right. Danny Dans?
I'm on board. It's a participant. I actually walked in tossing up between bronze and silver because I kind of enjoyed the ride.
Yeah.
But
then
just
it got
talking
worse
about
and
how
worse.
every section, every concept they had didn't resolve. So many of the jokes were way less funny the more we talked about them. It's really got very little to say for itself. Mm-hmm. Except for the writers, they've got a lot to say for themselves.
They have a lot to say for
Yeah,
themselves.
for real.
Yeah, Don Payne and Mitchell H. Glazer.
They have a lot to answer for. There's a difference.
Thank you.
Have these people written a good episode? Have you looked them
Don
up?
Payne actually wrote that White Christmas Blues that we watched last time.
Remind me.
Wasn't a great one.
The one where, like, a million things happens and nothing happens.
I still
We're
don't remember.
like, oh, it's snowing in the one place in the US for no real reason.
And now it's about the church sermon, and now it's about the innkeepers.
Wow.
And
Does he have ADD or something?
He must.
There's medication you can take for that. That's not an excuse.
Yeah.
So what's your ranking?
Yeah, participant all the way. Like I said, it's slotted in within the first... Because when it started off, I'm like, okay, this could get a bronze. There's a few interesting threads we might be following here. And then just none of them panned out and nothing goes anywhere. And I'm honestly struggling to remember anything about the episode minutes after we watched it.
Totally.
So, yeah, this is a quintessential participant. It's not offensive. It just exists and then it's gone.
Yeah.
See ya.
All right. Well, we are going to move on to our episode from the teens era now, and it'll be season 13, Sweet and Sour Marge. We will be back. We are back, and we just watched The Lastest Gun in the West. Yeah, I know. I couldn't fucking find the DVD disc. Sorry, listeners who were expecting that episode. Catch it in a few episodes' time.
Slowly shaking head.
This episode was from season 13. It was episode 12. It was first released in February of 2002. And, surprisingly, it was written by John Swartzwelder.
Really?
Who?
My
Really?
God.
Really?
The John Schwartzwelder.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
this was a Swartzwelder.
Really?
Indeed.
Prepare for my next 48 comments. Really?
Look, I mean, the great John Swartzwelder is not incapable of writing a bad episode. What do I mean?
Jeez, what a compliment.
I did too many
Yeah.
double negatives. While John...
Not
let me try that again.
incapable.
Like, he's done less than amazing episodes.
Yeah.
What's the one with the island and Homer? I forget what the title is.
The Island.
Yeah, the computer wears Manus shoes.
Yeah,
he also did the Regina monologues, which is the one where the Simpsons go to England, and that one was bad
Ooh,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, you know what? But hey, when your classics include many of the classics,
yeah.
it's fine.
And in this episode, speaking of which, the Springfield kids go through a Western phase when Bart befriends an old cowboy who used to be in movies who then disappoints him.
But it starts off with a dog.
Starting out at the beginning, Bart is having a really lucky day.
I know, it's great. It's actually really funny. So
Yeah.
he's walking along and he gets like a fly ball from the baseball. He's like, that's good. Oh, look, a shiny new dime. Picks it up. A shinier new dime. Picks that up.
And then an appearance of Yes Man. I usually find this guy super obnoxious, but this was fantastic.
Excuse me.
Perfect impression.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
And yeah, it gives him...
My refrigerator is broken.
Is this an impression of a specific guy? Is it like Vincent Price or something?
Possibly.
Kind of, but he's just kind of popped up several times and he's just that voice.
So clearly he's recovered from his stroke in time to start an ice cream business.
His name is apparently Mr. Pettigrew. Pettigrew.
Yeah, they do refer to him by name in like the toy episode where he's like, excuse me, Mr. Pettigrew, is this enough dirty money? He's like, why, yes.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, Yes Guy gives him a whole truckload of free ice cream.
Why, super chocolate, of course.
And then Bart thinks everything's coming up Bart, but no, there's a...
Oh, look, it's a four-legged friend for me to be best pals with.
And yeah, the dog immediately turns vicious. I love most of this stuff.
Yeah, I like the dog's animations, and they've always
Yeah.
got him very kind of Looney Tunes-esque.
And he's like drawn very differently from Santa's Little Helper, more of a pit bull, more of a big barrel-chested dog.
Yep.
And yeah, you really believe the viciousness. And
100%. Dog chases him home, and then when like Homer and Marge open the door, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm such an innocent little dog."
They pick him up. Who's ever going to
Gorgeous. Yeah. The secret growl while he's getting hogged. That is a classic bit.
Absolutely.
I like the bit where the dog is Bart sneaking up on Lisa, about to pull a prank, and then the dog sneaking up on Bart and goes. It was a great delivery. I mentioned
Very
that Frank.
like Warner Brothers, like, you know, Wile E. Coyote and stuff.
Yeah.
I noticed one of the guest stars was Frank Welker, and he's like the guy who does all the animal voices on Futurama, including like Nibbler.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, given the dog and how much emotion this dog had, I'm guessing that was him.
It's got to be a weird life when your like profession is like animal voices.
Making silly noises.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably great, but when they're like, damn it, we need a retarded dog. Get that one guy who's good at stuff.
Yeah. Like the girl who's famous for doing the Pikachu voice.
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, I know. You can tell that she just said Pika once, and they reproduced it in post.
Oh, no.
That's to do okay, give me like more emotion. Pika, but like sad emotion. Pika. That'd be a lot. That'd be range.
That's her whole life now. Doing comic cons where people ask her to do the line, Bart.
Yeah. It's like, can you write Pika to Sharon?
40 years later, mental asylum, Pika written all over the walls.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
She just rocks back and forth saying, Pika, 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 Pika.
But it's a living. And we should all be so lucky.
That's right.
Oh, you reckon the laugh... The dog creeps up behind Lisa, behind Bart, behind Lisa, behind Lisa, behind Bart.
Muttley.
And, yeah, thank you. That was it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Classic Muttley
It's a really
bit
hard
there.
thing to do, to get that like little whistle in there as well.
Yeah.
Nice. Good Muttley.
That's the whistle side. You need that.
Yeah, but I was missing that, yeah.
We then get a good joke. Well, a joke I like when Bart gets on the school bus and is like, safe at last. Sits next to Milhouse, and then the dog just looms behind him. He bolts off, and Milhouse is like, anyone want to be my friend? Ralph's next like, good, I get to be the lead friend now. Milhouse is like, be quiet.
Yeah, just Ralph casually
sir.
dominating Millhouse.
Oh, yeah. He's a baller.
Good to see Ralph with a bit of power. It's nice.
Yeah, and a unique thing, like, because Simpsons sort of used Ralph as a bit of a, like, cutaway sketch.
Yeah.
And this was a good Ralph line that wasn't, like, stupid. Like,
Yeah, like Sky Grammar.
It's nice to see he's not always the bottom of the food chain, you know?
Yeah. And
Who's
Millhouse,
further
it's-
down, Martin or Ralph?
Ooh.
Well, Martin, has a future.
Yeah.
So
Martin
Ralph-
gets the grades.
Yeah, I feel like Martin does more to, like, isolate himself on, like, by showing off. Whereas Ralph, like, people go, oh, come on, it's Ralph. Yeah.
Yeah, see, Ralph, even the kids speak about Ralph with pity in their voice.
Yeah.
That's true.
You feel like there's a no picking on Ralph policy because
Yeah.
life already picked on him enough.
Yeah. Poor Ralph.
The thing that I didn't really like about the whole dog routine, though, is, like, they made such a big point about the dog being kind for the Simpsons being angry to Bart, and, like, the Simpsons kind of going, oh, Bart, you're being crazy, this dog's lovely, but then they just sort of accepted it from every scene afterwards.
Yeah,
Like,
because, next frame is the dog up against the window, just and fogging it up.
and, yeah, Homer saying, yeah, sometimes people or dogs don't like you. Yeah.
Marge
fine.
being like, hey, there's that crazy angry dog.
Yeah, I made him a biscuit and shaped like the son that he's trying to kill. So they, like...
Well, because I figured that because it wasn't a plot point. Like, if the
Yeah.
whole thing was, everyone thinks the dog is nice, but only Bart knows for sure, it would have been a different thing. Yeah, it doesn't entirely make sense. But
It almost felt like a shame they dropped it. If he'd come back at the end, like in the last act, that would have been great.
It would have been kind
The
of
dog?
Yeah.
Like, he did come back at the very end, but not as a plot point. Just pointing that out.
Maybe it fell in love with one of the hounds
Oh.
and then became part of the pack.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
And then the whole pack chased Bart.
Found its place.
That routine after, like, Buck McCoy takes out his garbage and everything, then, like, Bart's running across the screen and the dog's chasing after him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, then
That's
we
what
got a
that one was.
close circle.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah,
That's
that's what
what
happened.
Not
I'm
satisfying.
still not
though.
happy.
Does anyone else want to say anything about the dog thing? Like, the short stories bit, that felt very on the nose, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
chuckled.
I kind of like it. Yeah, eat my
Yeah.
short stories.
Yeah.
Ran through a dog show wins most vicious.
Rips the most vicious thing.
Which, again, undercuts the previous whole routine of it loving the family, because...
Yeah, but I'm fine with that because it wasn't the plot point. It was just one gag.
No, it was a separate, isolated joke, but, you know, this is a nitpicking podcast, so...
Nitpick away!
Pick my nits.
So then Bart jumps the fence to get away from the dog at a random house and ends up at Buck McCoy's house.
I do actually kind of like his line where he's like, safe at last. Now to turn around and confirm that fact. And
Yeah. See, that's where you know it's a John Swartzwelder. There was some phrasing in this episode like that. That was so him.
Mm-hmm. Like, as we said before, he's very good at the misdirect.
Yeah.
I sort of want a bit where Bart has to, like, he's on the fence and he has to choose to fall back into the dog, you know? like you got to go forward, but to save the day, he has to let go. So that I haven't figured it out yet. We'll fix that up in the rewrite scene.
Yeah. We'll rewrite their ending for them.
I feel like he needs to choose to embrace being gored by the dog. Mauled,
yeah,
not muzzled.
You don't get gored by a dog. You get mauled by a dog. You get gored by a bull.
Okay, or like a boar or something with like tusks.
Tusks for goring.
We'll work on that. We'll come back to that.
But like this episode had the problem that we tend to not like, where the Simpsons' first act of a show will be completely unrelated to the next part. They did do a somewhat seamless transition there of the cowboy retraining the dog, doing the little neck and roll trick.
Yeah.
Calming him down.
Yeah.
Well, they brought that act into the next one, sort of.
Yeah.
And then snipped it neatly.
Yeah, it was more the main story bringing the introduction story into it rather than leading to it. Yeah, but it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so disjointed. They ran a bit of a through line, but not much.
So what do you guys think of the opening material at Buck McCoy's house? Yeah, that's right.
He's all like, oh, all these animals are from my movies. Why is there like lions and giraffes and elephants in the Western guys' movies?
Because the West was tough.
Huh.
I haven't seen enough Western movies to know. There aren't giraffes in Westerns?
Well, there was no, so he makes a reference to maybe the moose being from gunfight at the Museum of Natural History. So they've all come from there.
Okay.
Oh, that's a clever joke then.
I do really like when Bart's looking around his house. He's like, he's got all this crazy stuffed animal and Western kitsch around. He's like, wow, it's like you're living in a steakhouse.
Yeah.
Which, first of all, that's a good joke. And then the follow-up is Buckland goes, yeah, thanks. Most people just mutter that part.
Again, that feels very Swartzwelder. Like, very, like, not the words you're expecting at all.
I did like where, you know, he was talking about, well, do you know how to, something about tame a wild boar with a teaspoon? Nope. Well, what do you kids do all these days? It's like, well, right now I'm supposed to be at school.
I left school in grade 4 and I ain't no one dummy.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget the spittoon.
Yeah, I can't make the sound of a spittoon.
Ding.
Ding.
Nice.
There you go.
It sounds like a text notification.
Well, these days it does. But
Yeah,
back in the day,
Is there a spittoon app?
I guarantee there is.
So you can just spit on your phone.
Let's all... Right now, that's the only thing I want in life.
We need to, get a development team together. If you're a development team, hit us up on the Simpsons Twitter page.
We won't pay you.
So I like how when Bart goes back to the Simpsons house, he's telling the family and Grandpa's sister.
Yep.
Grandpa Simpson was aware of Buck McCoy, even had his little membership club card.
Buck McCoy!
Yeah. But I really felt bad for him later when they were like dragging him out of the house and no, you can't meet your childhood idol.
Yeah, but his grandpa, he's just become a kicking bag in the later seasons.
Kicking bag of senile rambling.
Yeah, you suck, get him out. I liked when Bart was in Buck's house still and he finds the metal lunchbox. What's this made of? Oh, back in my day we had a thing called metal. Everything was used out of it. Metal.
Yeah, it's kind of cute. A little bit forced, but kind of cute.
I'm surprised a metal band hasn't like used that in a clip yet.
Yeah.
Like or a song sample. Metal. Everything's made out of it.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Thank you.
So what did you guys think of the lasso bit?
Which one?
He lassos himself some beer and chips.
Yep.
Sorry, soda and chips.
Yeah. Can
Seems
you
like
lasso me a banana?
Banana? How the hell am I supposed to do that?
I can't work out whether or not I like this line or not.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's funny because it's Millhouse. I'm like, soaked in.
Yeah, but a
Can't
banana
catch a break.
Is it that a banana seems like a very lassoable shape that kind of makes it funny?
I suppose so. I mean, orange probably couldn't lasso one. You know, it's round.
Yeah.
Apple, questionable. Bunch of grapes. Yeah, you never know.
It's one of those...
Banana.
Bunch of grapes. I'd like to see that.
Given the context of when he says it, it becomes... He says, how am I supposed to do that? It's like, how can you not?
Yeah.
We just saw you get chips and soda.
Yeah.
So back at the house.
Back at the house, Buck McCoy's showing The Simpsons all his old movies, and what do you guys think of the material around here?
Oh, yeah. I loved the names of the westerns. Six Gun Lullaby. And excuse me while I kill this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was for his cop show. So yeah, the special guest star of this episode was Dennis Weaver, and I'm assuming they were sort of alluding to his career with like the movies and then the transition to the cop show. You were saying it might be a bit more of a Clint Eastwood thing, or
Yeah, he's pretty famous for sort of starting the westerns and moving towards the
Yeah.
70s cop shows.
Yeah,
It's
but
true.
he did it successfully.
I think there were probably quite a few that made that transition. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, the trend of the time with 70s TV was all bell-bottoms, big moustaches, and big revolvers hunting bad guys.
That moustache was era appropriate.
I spent that whole movie shooting hippies.
Yeah, and I do like here, throughout this whole lead-up, you do get subtle references to his drinking. Like,
Yeah.
Marge is like, I can't remember what she says. She's like, we got Texas fried steak and refried whiskey. He's like, I like that last part. So you
And
get
he
little
does
bits and
seem to
pieces.
crack out the flask now and then, but it doesn't get sinister until the Krusty show.
I like how they make
Yeah.
reference to it without building it to being a plot point, and later on when it's revealed as being a plot point, you've seen it
You
several
remember.
times. Like, oh yeah, oh.
I liked Marge saying, Bart seems quite fond of that cow gentleman.
And yeah, and around this time, Homer's starting to get a bit jealous. Oh, I want to be the apple of my son's eye and all that stuff. And he does some of his Homer pouting, which it was a mixed bag, but overall kind of fine.
He is an annoying pouter.
He is. Homer's trying to show off to Bart and bragging about how they sprayed his workspace for ticks.
That's great, champ.
Yeah. I think Bart's delivery actually saved that bit, but yeah,
Yeah, I
Homer.
think so.
I like the running joke through sort of from now until the end of the episode where everything Bart says as Homer continues to get more jealous. It's like, I've seen bigger, I've
Yeah.
seen louder, I've seen drunker.
Yeah.
Are you still spitooning?
And not into the microphone, no less. Into the spittoon, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a good spittoon.
So Bart goes up to school wearing his new cowboy garb and tells all the kids to get into it and have
Brag
very...
backwards. It's a subordinate app.
It's what?
Garb is brag backwards. It's a subordinate app.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bart taking the fad to school and telling your clothes better be adorable and the news report.
And poor Martin wearing the Hawaiian shirt. But why isn't this a fad?
Oh, that's right. I loved how he got that lassoed off him.
That's
And he
it.
goes,
And
wait,
then
you're not cool. You're fat.
Yes. Kids can be
so
so
mean.
cruel, can't they?
Mean, but really funny.
I shouldn't have laughed at that, but the delivery was hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not fun. You're fat.
Yeah, and the fact that no one noticed until they pulled his shirt off.
Yeah.
Poor
I think that
old
would have been a
Martin.
good spot for him to do the jelly the jelly joggle, the jelly jiggle.
Jelly belly.
You mean a truffle
Truffle
shuffle?
The truffle shuffle. Yeah.
Jelly jig.
Sorry, man. Going from the Hawaiian shirt to suddenly topless and
Yeah.
fat. It's way a truffle shuffle
It's
time.
like my life.
Living large.
Oh shit.
Going from the Hawaiian shirt to suddenly topless and fat. The Sheridan Morley story.
Book cover is just you shrugging your shoulders.
I don't know how these things happen to me.
It's the Hawaiian shirt just by itself.
Yeah.
Discarded in the corner of a shadowy alley outside the townie.
I'll ghostwrite that if you want.
Please do, please do.
We'll talk later.
We'll talk. My people will talk to your people.
Cool.
We should do lunch.
I love lunch.
So I didn't really like the news report segment, and I think it pointed out its own out of placeness by Ken Brockman finishing
This
it
is
by
barely
going,
news. Yeah. And it's because occasionally I enjoy those jabs at just small town news or just any news segment with like, here's a squirrel who can water ski. But it was,
Yeah.
man, yeah, drawing way too much attention to it. Like
Yeah.
they've done better versions of that joke before.
And the material contained within didn't really justify it to be funny enough. Like,
Yeah.
Also, the news guy was there on the same day that everyone turned up wearing cowboy news. How did he know? Did someone call
Stop the presses.
Stop the presses. Yeah, everyone's turned up in cowboys this morning.
His daughter was all like, "Dad, I need a bunch of cowboy stuff."
Oh, his daughter is creepy looking.
She is.
She
She's
has a
only
mullet.
shot like twice. But
Yeah, the top of her head looks like his haircut, but
Yep.
it's a mullet.
Yeah.
I did like Ralph's line of, I'm a gulch.
It's cute.
Yeah.
And stupid. And
Yeah.
Ralph.
But the Don't Fence Me In song.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't seem to like that.
I've never liked this because, okay, first of all, why's Apu involved? And second of all, it's only there so Homer can make a pee joke, and
Yeah.
Homer doesn't
Yep.
need to be there either.
Yeah, and just why do we cut the quickie mart? And
Yeah.
just all of it is very disjointed. And
Yeah, there's no logical reason to maybe
They're showing that the whole town's getting in on the craze.
yeah,
I
which
can
is
see
fine.
that.
But if there was another scene to support that before it, cut
and
to
didn't get distracted from the point straight away. It's just like, hey, pee jokes.
Yeah.
Ad-libbing over songs is better than putting up with songs.
But there's no reason why it couldn't have been at the school. Maybe Skinner thinks this is awesome and he's joining in and he's playing the song and then
Willie needs to pee. There's a sentence for you.
and then Miss
Yep.
Krabappel needs to pee.
or Willie, and he's like, not until you plow the entire field twice, or I don't know, Skin or something.
How funny would Willie be singing that? I can't do a Scottish accent, but
Scottish accent trying to be a cowboy.
yeah. All right, Jack, go. Scottish accent, trying to be a cowboy, saying can't hold it in.
Give it.
Don't fence me in.
That was yes, in the middle of that.
Well, hell, partner, we'll go and draw pistols at high dawn.
Ooh, not bad.
That'll do.
It's really weirdly hard
Not bad.
to think.
So,
to speak in Scottish, but think in cowboy.
The spaghetti western was like the Italian directors doing westerns. So
Yeah.
what's a Scottish one? A haggis western?
Ew. Blood sausage.
It was called Highlander.
Look it up, folks. Bart and Lisa go to Krusty Lou's studios and try and get Buck McCoy a job on Krusty's show. Mm-hmm. I liked their line of, we also represent Billy Joel.
Who was the first one again?
Yeah.
Buck McCoy. Yeah. That was all right. I don't really actually remember that at all. But what I do remember is when they cut back to Buck and he's all like, why should I show on some clown's show? And they Lisa tries a bit of reverse psychology and he's like, Little Missy, the last two people who tried reverse psychology on me are pushing up daisies. Like, they're dead? No, they just have shitty jobs.
Yeah. Lousy, but
I know. But
I don't think Simpsons have said the word shit yet.
I've drunk enough and was doing this voice enough to say the word shitty.
Yeah.
I liked Krusty through the whole next segment when he does get the job. And he's typical Krusty, but I feel like they just did not give one crap writing this. It's just like, hey, yeah, you're all right.
Yeah. Well, he sort of goes up to him and goes, hey, I really admired you. And then I watched your movies in a bus station or something. And then...
And Buck says something and Krusty goes, I don't care.
Yeah, and just flip to being condescending immediately. I don't know if that was inherent to Krusty's character or just bad writing.
No, I think he was probably, he didn't mean that he used to care. He was just trying to be polite and then...
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and then, I don't care.
Yeah, I kind of got that
But
part.
you drive that better. Hey, I've seen all the things you were in.
Yeah.
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 I've seen whatever it was you did.
Yeah, exactly.
But then he follows it up, and this was my favorite part. I won't be doing a monologue tonight because my feet hurt. And now here's the sketch.
Oh, and the announcer said that Krusty Studios is on the corner of Zany Avenue and Martin Luther King Boulevard. That was such a quick, wait, what?
Nice.
Yeah. Krusty's putting a lot of pressure on Buck McCoy, saying lots of people going to be watching, and
Millions.
doing this bit where Buck leans away to take a sip of whiskey and getting drunk. And then the scene set up, Sideshow Mel is got Mr. Teeny tied up on the railroad tracks, saying, we don't appreciate transsexual chimps in our town. Ugh.
Yeah.
Twirl moustache.
Yeah. I don't know. It just felt unnecessary. Oh, yeah. All the trick shots with Buck when he was in rehearsal, though, that was all
He was
pretty cool
amazing.
animation.
Carves a little cowboy statue out of granite he shoots.
Yeah.
Six
With his
shots
feet.
straight into
With
the...
his feet, that's
Yeah. 6 shots straight into the panhandler.
And I like that Krusty leaned to an intern then and goes, I'm using that. Write that down.
Write that down.
Yeah, but then Buck appearing drunk on stage and
Ruins everything.
I liked that he shot out the applause sign and
They're like, we're free.
yeah. Any of the other bits that you guys like or had thoughts about in that section?
That's about it.
He shot Krusty.
Yeah, only now we're forgetting the most important part. Oh my god, he's drunk. I've seen drunker. Which I have used in my own life.
Yeah, throughout this whole stuff, like Homer interjects occasionally to pout and sort of reinforce this as a subplot point as well.
I was thinking, I remember this being like at least 3 times, but apparently it's only the twice. He's I've seen fancier and I've seen drunker. Is there anything else, or is that
No, I think it was just those two.
Yeah, I swear it happened more times than that. But
Yeah, I thought so too, but
that's the way my brain remembers stuff.
And yeah, it shoots Krusty, and that looked pretty brutal. Like even though it didn't
the
draw
collapse
blood
and everything.
To be fair, I don't know if Krusty has any blood left. So.
yeah.
No, that's true. Might be. What do clowns have for blood?
Then the clown search
Seltzer.
Ah, yes.
and confetti. Then the,
Fago.
no,
What?
no, it's a Juggalos joke.
All right.
Then the clown surgeons run out and they're like, after this commercial, they'll be cutting me open. Cut me
Yeah.
out of my clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And yeah,
It's not during this commercial either. It's after this commercial.
oh,
On
they're
air.
taking their time.
Yeah.
At the top of Act 3, Homer tries to reassure Bart and gives him a poster of Homer cross-dressing
Yeah.
and saying, this can be your new hero.
Yeah. But
I
like
can't do the noise properly.
in like a Baywatch outfit. It's on the
Yeah.
tongue.
There we go.
Can you do that? Yeah, it's like that. But now gonna be like wow. Okay, let's put them together.
No, can't do it.
And we're back.
Yep. Ooh. That was very close to the microphone. Ew! What the fuck? You made me sad of myself. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't get that bit at all. Like, I didn't understand, like...
What we've been talking about. I'm lost now.
Are you all stoned? Like,
Homer cross-dressing.
All right. Yeah, he was like kind of in a Baywatch swimsuit, but I was like, like, okay, if you'd done something very iconic, like say the 10,000 BC Raquel Welch fur bikini, sure, at least I know what you're referencing. But it's just like, why is he cross-dressing? Why is this what?
Why is it a thing?
he's been trying to make himself Bart's new hero all episode, and like, yeah, sure, have a poster of himself, but like, what is the extra layer of joke you're going for by having him cross-dressing? Why isn't he trying to like make himself look like a movie star?
Yeah, why not be like a famous Western poster or something?
Yeah, like he went to the fair and got a old timey photo blown up, and
Yeah,
Bart
just-
points that out.
Last
think it's
Homer
just-
standing or something.
I think it's just funny for the sake of funny.
Yeah,
And it also proves that he just gets it wrong all the time, and that's why he's probably not the hero.
They could have done better.
Yeah.
they could have. And in this moment, Marge and Homer decide to rally and help Bart. Homer has a change of heart, which I thought was pretty organic to the story.
Yeah, yeah. They're all like,
It wasn't unearned. But in this moment, and I just don't like this from an ethical standpoint, that Homer and Marge's solution is to completely drain this guy of all of his alcohol. PSA, don't do that for an alcoholic.
Yeah, geez. Not cool.
You actually might kill them if
Yeah.
you take away all their alcohol at once.
After 60 years of heavy drinking, do
Yeah.
not just pour all their booze down the sink.
Like,
See your local GP.
yeah. All right, so, and we're back after that brief intermission. Sorry, guys, Danny had to go. Where is he going?
To ride into the sunset.
bum,
Yes,
bum, bum,
his
bum,
horse
bum,
arrived.
bum, bum, bum.
And the sun set, so, yeah.
Yep, they reshoot his horse and rechambered his revolver, and he's out to take down some bad guys, some rustlers who are going on over the hill.
Out west.
They got to learn some justice, 6-letter bullet justice.
He moseyed, in other words.
But he said he's given us his ranking, and
We'll reveal it later.
we'll excuse him while he kills that guy.
Correct.
Nice.
So, we're about to get to the end where Homer is, as you said, starting to, empathize.
Yeah, and he's rehabilitating Buck McCoy, and there's this scene in the 12-step rehab meeting with the prospector. I thought this was really obnoxious.
Gold.
Rehabilitation center for retired cowboys.
Yeah.
Alcoholic cowboys.
Ah.
It feels like he went for the obvious joke there. Oh, Weston, got to have a guy yelling about his gold.
Yeah, wasn't this guy in a previous episode?
He sounded a lot like Cookie from
Yeah,
the
that's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Dude Ranch episode.
Yeah. But Cookie was not yelling about gold, was he?
No, he was just talking about going to bed. Woohoo!
Bam! I thought it was a reference, but if it's not, then it's even more completely out of...
Yeah.
Nope, terrible. Take it back, do it again.
Yeah, it felt very tacked on, but I did like how he goes to leave and the branded a quitter, and he actually has a branding that says quitter.
And then it just cuts to the next scene, and Homer and Marge are sitting outside, and he opens the door kind of limping.
Yeah, and Homer goes, what smells nice?
That's right.
It smells like barbecue.
Like, yeah, it's a great way to sort of do show and tell a bit, but not exactly put it all out there.
Yeah, you're subtly telling by showing, but not showing the thing itself, just the before and after.
Yeah, just sort of dancing around it. Like, we don't see his butt that's now branded with word quitter on it.
Yeah. I then do like Marge's line, who goes, well, naturally I assumed it was some of my business.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't even know your name yet. No one's even told me your name yet.
Yeah, because they've not been on screen before.
Yeah, and so the episode closes out with this whole big robbery scene.
Yep.
Yeah, it didn't really make too much of an impact on me.
No, because they were all like, and high-tech criminals have taken over the bank. They have the latest in weaponry and armor. And just for a quick little trivia index, the weapons they're using are M41A pulse rifles from the movie Aliens.
But I think it's more of a, like, the episode's running out of time, and so we need to wrap this up quickly. How do we do it? And so they give Homer the line. There must be some harebrained, half-assed way to fix this, and then the report comes on.
And then, Wiggum leaning into the camera, a hero.
A hero.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like season 13 of The Simpsons. I feel like they were doing a meta joke at this point because they'd done so many stories like this. They thought that, like, them actually being so obvious about it was the joke.
Was funny, yeah.
Yeah, which, again, can work, but in this point, it was more like a travelator. You knew it was there. You could see it. You were on it. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like when he did eventually foil the criminals, like the only bit I really liked out of that was how he lassoed Snake's underpants out from under his normal pants.
I mean, it's a hard
I
trick.
thought you were going to say under something else, but that's okay.
Out of his
gooch.
Oh,
Gooch.
right.
Yeah. Thanks.
Fair enough.
I can read this woman, and she's thinking the word gooch.
And here's where I had a good example of a poochie.
Ooh, hang on. The gooch, Kim Kardashian, and Mike Pence. Name 3 things next to an asshole.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey-oh.
Hey-oh.
There was a good Poochie joke there where Bart was like rattling off all of his heroes before Homer, and one of them was Poochie. I thought that was a nice, subtle Poochie reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it's like American firefighters, which, post 9/11, sure. But then to put it in the same breath as Poochie is like, wait, is this a joke or not? Like, if you want to make it legit, sure. But if you next to Poochie, it sounds like it's meant to be a joke and doesn't quite land.
Oh, okay. I sort of ignored that.
Yeah, no, I know you did. That's fine.
I shouldn't ignore America's firefighters. They do great work.
One thing I noticed in this scene is that Kent Brockman has the same body type and fashion sense as Donald Trump.
That's very true.
He wears these really like baggy, ill-fitting 80s suits.
Yep.
And he's sort of hunched over and overweight, but you don't usually think of him as overweight, and then you realize he is when he turns on the side.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're both yellow.
Right?
And they're both yellow. There you go. It's the Brockman-Trump conundrum.
And do you remember that episode of The Simpsons where Kent Brockman, it was revealed all of his skin was being held up by a peg,
By a peg.
on the back of his head? I'm going to start looking for that from a reverse shot of Trump now.
Yes.
Just a giant peg filled with Trump fat.
Eco facelift. He hides the peg under the toupee.
Yep. So the last thing to say about this episode is, Buck saves the day, so he goes off into the sunset, and I like his line of "Never bother me again, Bart."
I do
Yeah.
like that. Because it's being played in that hero moment as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
That really lands it.
And then, they're playing that hero music, and he just goes home, ties up his horse, and then does just a bunch of mundane things.
Chores.
Takes the trash out, sort of looks out the window. Are they still looking at me? And
Yeah, kind of reminds me of my Strummer Vacation, where it's like, got to go put the storm drains up. Winter's coming.
yeah. Closes out with Keith and Mick just working on the storm windows.
Yep.
All right, cool. Let's do a questionnaire.
If you insist.
Play count. I think I've seen this actually probably 15 odd times.
Wow, really?
I don't know.
That's a lot of times.
Yeah, I don't know. When I had Foxtel back when I was living at my mum's place, this one just... A lot of season 13 episodes seem to come up a lot on the Simpsons marathons that they used to do on Fox 8.
Back when I was living at my mum's place.
That... Yeah, that was in the before moving out times.
The before times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The Elliot J. O'Neill prequel.
Before he was Elliot J. O'Neill, he was just, Elliot, come clean your room.
No.
No. No. Elliot, why have you and all your friends drunken all my booze?
Shut up, Mom. I've got a hangover. I'm watching The Simpsons.
Mom, go and buy me some Subway.
What was your biography I was ghostwriting for you again?
Topless and Hawaiian shirt.
From Hawaiian shirt to topless and fat. The Sheridan Morley story.
Still funny.
No,
Still funny.
suddenly topless.
Suddenly
It has to be sudden. It's been lassoed away. Or lassoed, apparently.
Yes, be Elliot, why are your friends Hawaiian shirts everywhere? Shut up, Mom. Which is what I was trying to remember.
It was so sudden, I don't know how they got there.
We were lassoing.
All right, play count. So I think I've seen it 50, 20 times.
I'm pretty sure this is only the second time.
Yeah?
Maybe the third, if I don't remember my own life terribly well.
Sure.
Ditto.
And I'm pretty sure I've seen it just this one time. It's Danny.
He just came
My
back
name
in,
is Danny.
rolling on his horse, and now he's back off again.
Nicely done.
Take that, 2 halves of a coconut.
Did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Yeah, sure, no one's off point. And it's all Bart makes a wacky friend and Krusty tries to make... Yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it was a pretty, like I said before, it's pretty sort of, they're making a lot of meta stuff, so like the integrity of the show itself is a bit off because they are doing all this sort of looking at the camera, hey, haven't we done this before, sort of.
Yeah. But no, man, every character's still behaving like themselves.
Yeah. I gotta say though, like, except for a few lines, this does not feel like a John Swartzwelder episode.
No, it really doesn't. I'm very surprised. That's why I had to continually go, really? Really? Because I've got like 38 more of those. Really?
Yeah. Wackiness. Yeah, pretty damn wacky with the horses and the
Yeah,
lassoing jokes.
The
Dog's
dog.
pretty wacky.
Yeah.
The shooting tricks are pretty wacky.
Yeah.
but-
Yep, the fact that Krusty wasn't profusely bleeding.
The painting
Yeah.
made out of booze.
That painting is made out of booze.
I want a painting made out of booze.
I know, it sounds delicious.
I forgot all about that. That was a good joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, don't cut off an alcoholic supply. They might die. The heart of this episode, though, did you feel the heart?
Like a tiny bit. There was a bit of it with Homer wanting to be Bart's hero. And then even just Bart looking up to someone new. And it, I guess, I was about to say affecting his life in a positive way.
Yeah.
He doesn't do much differently other than dress and get everyone into cowboy stuff. I would have maybe kind of liked, maybe there was a few things he was doing better in life. Like, I don't know, he had an agriculture subject at school he suddenly passed.
The only time I really felt heart was when he was disappointed.
Yeah.
I think it's more like anti-heart because his heart was broken sort of thing.
That's still the feels. They count.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was a good turn, I thought, for Homer's like obnoxious pouting throughout the episode, for him to come around at the end and actually want to help Bart's new hero.
Yeah. Time for me to actually be a dad and sort this situation out.
Yeah, absolutely. Sticking up for his boy and not trying to shatter his dreams. So yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
Yeah, I reckon so. If for nothing else in the line of I've seen drunker.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, it passes the hangover test for
Oh,
me.
yeah,
sure.
wouldn't rush to it, but if it's on,
Yeah,
why not?
by now I've lassoed. I've watched this episode. I'm like, I could lasso the remote.
With your
Aha.
belt.
Yeah, with this belt that you wear all the time and to bed, apparently.
Look at it.
That's his lassoing belt.
Yeah.
What playlist would you put this episode in?
Krusty the Clown specials.
Yep. Any Western ones.
Bart
Yeah.
Adventures, Bart Heroes.
Yeah, Bart's new heroes and Homer being jealous of. Like, yeah, pair it with the Bigger Brother episode.
Dogs of Springfield.
Marge butting her nose into things.
Yep. Assuming it was some of her business.
Yeah.
Such a cute line. Let's rank this thing.
You got yourself a deal.
So, look who's back. It's Danny. What?
Hey guys.
Oh, and you bought your horse, Little Buttercups.
Yeah, I say hi everyone, little buttercups.
So, what would you like to rank this episode?
I'd like to rank it a bronze.
That's a very fair rank.
Okay, I'm off again to adventure. Woo, buttercups. Woo.
Oh, that was special. I love it when horses come in the tank. Shez, what would you like to rank it?
Bronze also. I think Buttercup's writing Danny made a good point.
Yeah.
It's bronze. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't quite a participant. It was certainly better than the last episode we watched on today's podcast. So that makes it a bronze for me.
All right. And I will also give it a bronze. It was a close participant, to tell you the truth, but I got some good yucks, and yeah, I kind of echo your points. I think the last episode made this look better by comparison.
Yep.
Correct.
BT?
I am going to bronze because I got enough legit laughs out of it. Again, I'm much like you. I'm like, this was starting more than we talked about it. It started to skirt the participant bronze.
Yeah.
But I think, the story holds together. And yeah, there's some good jokes.
Yeah, it's more an okay episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah, which is what we have bronze for, so that's fine.
Yeah. All right, now coming up next, we are going to the classic era, and it's going to be Season 8's The Two Nahasapeemapetilons. Stay tuned. And we are back, and we just watched The Two Nahasapeemapetilons, our classic episode for the evening. It was first released in November of 97. It's Season 9, Episode 7, right on the cusp of the classic era, and it was written by Richard Appel. And in this episode, after wooing many of Springfield's single women, shock horror, Apu's mother sends him a letter saying it's time to get your arranged marriage. So he sets off on a scheme where he pretends that Marge is his wife and then eventually gets found out and marries Angela arrangedly.
Well done.
Synopsis, motherfuckers.
Mike carefully
synopsis.
replaced in the stand.
Guys, what did you think?
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic smells.
Classic.
Yeah, so I wanted to do this episode because I want to start doing a lot of the episodes that have sort of continuity within the show. Now that we're sort of getting a few episodes in, and there are a lot of episodes from here on which do revolve around Apu and Menjulas, and we did one already, so I thought we should go back to where it all began.
Yep.
And yeah, quite a sweet beginning for these two.
Yeah, sweet episode overall.
Yeah.
It's one that I found a little lighter on jokes, but I really like the story in this one. So
Yeah.
so we start off. Springfield's having a bachelor auction.
Yeah, and I like Krusty's typical routine, half-assed doing the hosting duties.
Yeah, all right off the bat, I do like you got a good sign gag where it's tonight, Springfield bachelor, tomorrow, I quit, suckers.
Yeah.
But then the guy falls off, so it's like he had one day to retirement. So yeah, it says I retire, suckers.
Yeah, it's always hard to get in a good one day till retirement joke.
I like it. It's a quick little two punch because you get the I retire, suckers, and then he falls off. It's like he only had one more day.
And yeah, Krusty doing his typical half-assed hosting routine was fantastic.
And before that, you got Brockman going, now it's time for your MC for the night, Krusty. And I was like, oh, who's that? The Clown. Ah!
Yeah, hey, not reading that. Okay, on to The Bachelors.
Yep.
And then this episode gets really mean to Barney here.
But brilliantly
He calls
so.
himself a big thirsty teddy bear.
Say hello to Barney. I like how he strolls onto that kind of classy version of My Guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt like they had a live band there playing it.
And then I like that he walks on and just sort of sways
Yeah.
because he's too
Yeah.
drunk.
Yeah. And Krusty, his whole routine of the auctioneer, but it's just saying zero in various ways.
I got you. No, I got bupkis. Anyone over here? Got nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Here we go. Over here, we got a zero. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that there's then a fade out and you come back with the sea captain and it's just, come on!
He likes sunsets. What else do you want? And I've used this line myself many times of, Yar, I'm not attractive.
But they do a really good Mo joke here, and I don't like what they do with Mo in sort of later episodes where they make him kind of like a sexual predator. Whereas this one was cleverly done where it's like, this is Mo, and his interests are watching women who take off clothes for money. Now, to me, that just feels like Mo's dumb and socially inept. Like
Yeah.
He's just a
that's-
bit pathetic.
That someone asked him, what are your interests? What do you like to do? And he sort of said that, not thinking of how that will reflect on him in a bachelor thing.
And you can imagine him scratching the back of his head awkwardly as he
Yeah.
says it.
Yeah, well, I don't know much, but I like it when them dames take their clothes off for money.
Yeah. That's a great night out.
Yeah.
And just by the glares from the audience, he knows, and he just keeps walking
Isn't
right
he
into their
playing
rejects.
Staying Alive while he's on there?
Yeah.
Walks the reject. Why do we have to stand here? This is so humiliating.
Yeah. Yeah, they call off the event, and I thought it was a very logical step for them to sort of pluck a poo out of the crowd, and like him not thinking that he was anything special, and then
Yeah, it's very, very humble for him to get into this.
But before that even happens, Krusty does like, this must be an American tradition because I've never seen it anywhere else. But like, you know, at the end of the beauty pageant and they do like the farewell song.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing the like close the show song, had
yeah.
some laughs, killed some time.
Yeah, and later on when they cut back to it, he goes, I cashed the check, and they...
Actually, yeah, just through The Simpsons and other sitcoms. I mean, we've got Little Miss Springfield. They end it with all the losers in
Exactly.
her wake. And then in Futurama, you've got the Miss Universe. It's like, there it is. Miss Universe looking weird.
Oh, what about the South Park one? There he is. It's the biggest douche. Good going douche.
So yeah, there must be like a formal ceremony wrap-up song for everything.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
hear the Oscars one, like, the Oscars. It happened. It took too long.
You didn't see any of the guys who actually put these movies together.
What's a writer?
Someone made an impassioned speech and we cut them off.
Started playing the music too soon, and they stayed anyway to thank their mom.
Oh shit, La La Land thought they won.
They didn't moonlight.
We fired PWC. They won't be back next year.
They writes itself, really.
It does.
The
So catchy.
Oscars. Beautiful.
Dun-dun.
Yeah, I thought it was a logical leap to have Apu be the attraction of all these women because, yeah, on paper he sounds great. Owns his own business, has a degree in something computery.
Computer science.
Sciences.
Ah,
Doctorate.
Yes. A doctorate.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
it is
missed that.
actually Dr. Apu.
Which I do
Wow.
like because there is a continuity there where I can't remember what the context is, but the Simpsons are in the Quickie Mart and he talks about how he's got punch cards for a computer to play tic-tac-toe and Bart gets them out of order. So there is actually a continuity there. I like that. But he also enjoys building furniture and then discussing where to place it in a room.
I don't like to talk, but I love to listen. And yeah. No, he sounds great. And then, yeah, so 5 women originally in a competition with each other decide to pool their money together.
And this is how you get a man, ladies. Pull together.
Yeah.
So he goes on a date with each. I would have thought that if you're pooling your money, you'd get one group date.
Yeah, that's what I'd be aiming for. But, you know, maybe Apu's just a one-at-a-time dater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Not into the harem.
Nah.
I'm just really saying if you love me, then you share him. Bit of Hamilton. Had to throw it in just for Elliot over there.
Me and all the listeners in New York are the only ones who get it. And yeah, the couple of dates there as well were pretty cute. How he wins Wubsy and
Yeah, yeah. Oh yes, so all Quickie Mart employees must be skilled in the deadly arts.
And I know you fucking hate Luann, but I love that the activity she wanted to do was clog dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Seems like a fucking annoying thing that fucking Luann would want to do. Fuck Luann. Seriously, she's so annoying.
yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we've had a discussion before. Luann is a bitch.
She is, isn't she?
It really
She's
is.
gossipy. She wears the annoying culottes. Is that what they're called? The 3/4 pants
Yeah, cool.
with the button-up sleeveless shirt. That doesn't make sense.
It just undermines Kurt a lot. Sometimes he deserves it. Fair
The only
enough.
person more annoying than Luann is Kurt.
But we do have the great line after, "Who's up for clogging?" It's, "Why don't you try and stop me?"
Yeah.
Again, I've used that plenty of times. I love how he already has clogs.
Yes.
He's like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
My body is ready.
I can't believe I haven't been dating before. I could have been clogging with people this whole time. And yeah, the cute little rhyming note in the Quickie Mart sharing his stories with Homer. And I thought this was a really natural, organic way of having involving Homer in the story.
Yeah, that he just happened to,
He's often at the Quickie Mart buying his beer and snacks.
not only that, Homer's there when the lotus flower appears. So,
Yeah.
cuts over and lotus flower, lotus flower drops out and Pooh's all, he's like, Homer's like, "Oh, you hate lotus flowers too. Don't get me started on lotus flowers."
There was some really good Homer lines. Even,
Yeah.
we've complained about his extended reactions and emotional gibbering and whatever, but this one where he's reading over the note and going, "Oh, ho, ho." I thought that was all very, I thought that was all very funny.
Yeah. He was funny through the whole episode, but it was short and snappy.
Yeah.
That's the
because
thing.
it's not a Homer-focused episode. He's just
That's
there.
right, yeah.
But this is all about Apu, and I like this is one of the few ones where we really focus on the secondary characters, and it does really well.
Yeah, Homer's sort of there to push Apu's story along, and Apu is just in moments of crisis and doesn't know what to do, and Homer's just there to provide him the...
Yeah, he's the only one who has the advice, so even though it's bad, that's what he goes with. Because, I mean, although I do really like where Apu's like, no, the lotus flower is the symbol of my arranged marriage, and he starts going to flashback, and then Homer's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also like the dowry of 10 groats and an electric fan.
Yeah.
You call that a dowry?
I want to call that like a band. We are 10 goats and an electric fan.
This is the first track of our new album, Dowry.
It will be the only track. Goodbye.
I liked the montage of him dating and partying with hot women and stuff to Hot Blooded.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And just the various hairstyles with Homer, like thumbs up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thumbs up to all of them.
Yeah, a play on the old one where it's like, normally you have to hate every outfit, but then the last one you love.
Some
But no.
outfits
Yeah.
I was like,
But
but this
no.
one, some I was like, yeah.
So it probably went on a bit too long, but there was like 5 of them and he liked them all. But
yeah.
yeah, and before when he sort of gives Apu the idea to just palm his mother off, say he already got married, and when Apu's on the phone and he, once again, in that moment of crisis, doesn't know what to do, turns to Homer. Homer's writing a note and it says, "Where are the sticky buns?"
Yes, where are the sticky buns?
On this Easter, it would be appropriate.
Exactly.
Actually, do other countries have hot cross buns at Easter?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
sure.
I do.
They're really good. I like-
Leave a note in the comments. Do you have hot cross buns during Easter? Are your
I want to
buns
hear from
always
our one
hot?
Chinese fan again.
We have one Chinese
Our
fan?
audience.
Our audience from the Orient.
Oh, boom.
Thank you. Yeah, the hot-blooded montage, fantastic.
Yeah, and I really like how we start in the Quickie Mart with Homer and Apu when the letter shows up. We go to montage, then we get returned from montage to the same location, but Apu's asleep because he's been having such a wild time.
I love
And
that.
then
Yeah,
he's-
this bit with Homer.
It's a really good transition, and again, it keeps them together organically, but it also propels the plot forward by just having more stuff happening, but without changing much. It's really actually very eloquent.
Yeah, totally. And it also, sets up a funny bit with Homer flicking through the lottery tickets, shining
Loser,
a light,
loser,
finding the
loser,
winner.
Loser, $500.
And the whole yodel thing, like, it may have gone on a bit too long, and but I just love it. I love his delivery, and he's
yeah.
like, and because Apu goes, you don't have enough money for both the lottery ticket and the yodel. You can only have one. And he's like, oh.
Yodel. I love the kind of defeated but accepting way he says yodel. Yodel.
Reminds me of money can be used to buy goods and services.
Yeah.
Explain how.
He didn't have that moment in his brain. Oh, Homer, you could have had so many yodels.
To be fair, I've just looked up what a yodel is. It looks fucking delicious.
What's
What is
in
it?
it?
It's
Chocolate
like
bar?
it's like okay, so imagine those cream rolled cakes.
Yes, like the cream logs.
Yeah, cream logs. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a,
So
like
it's
a
like a
chocolate one of
chocolate
them,
sponge
but
cake.
then coated in chocolate itself.
Oh,
It looks
Oh,
like
right.
chewy and creamy and delicious, and all that yodel looks so good. I wish I was eating it right now.
yeah. Turn that thing around. I want to see that.
I mean, don't know.
Oh yeah, I can get the vibe from that. Oh yeah.
Spongy.
So all of a sudden, Apu's mother comes into town out the front of the Quickie Mart, and I like again. Apu in a crisis turns to Homer. Homer's just eating the yodel slowly.
No, before that, you've got the great little, my mother is here, and just blank shot on Homer,
Yeah.
and then, she's here to see my wife, blank shot. The wife I do not have.
Yeah, like already forgetting his involvement in the story.
Maybe you shouldn't have said you did have one.
Oh, fucking Captain Hindsight there.
But yeah, they're eating the yodel slowly is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Well,
Seems to me that
mother falls down. He's like, Goose, that'll buy me some time.
And when she falls, it looks horrific
looks
as
bad.
well.
I know.
Apu's just really
No concern.
Yeah. Oh, good. This'll benefit me. And so, yeah, Homer then gives Apu the idea to say, well, tell your mother that Marge is your wife and you can stay at my place. And I love that where Apu's mother drags him away by the ear. Mm-hmm. Really.
Because he's stalling. It's like, we'll go, and it is in the going.
Yeah. It really just highlights like their dynamic.
Yeah,
Like,
in very simple way, which is just like not having any of his bullshit, and then just grabs his ear and pulls.
Yeah. Point out at this point that Apu's mother was played by Andrea Martin.
Nice.
She was in lots of stuff.
Good to know.
Good for you, Andrew.
She is not Indian by the looks of things.
No, the accent would suggest so.
Also, the surname Martin.
Yes.
I mean, it's not impossible, but this feels unlikely.
So I love when they cut back to the Simpsons house and Homer's on the couch and like unusual character model choice to have him wearing his socks that we never see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
And
It's just kicking back, relaxing, thinking about that yodel he ate.
yeah. And like just to really show how comfortable he was and how little he thought about the situation he'd put himself in.
Yeah, until Apu and his mother pull up outside and say, oh crap, I forgot.
Yeah. Immediately turns around, Marge begs her, puts her in such an awkward position. Like
But-
poor Marge in this episode.
Marge, like a champ, just goes for it. But I also appreciate that this isn't something ridiculous she's doing for Homer. It's something ridiculous she's doing for Apu.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. It's like, sure, Homer pitched it, but yeah.
But it's to avoid, Apu getting in an arranged marriage, which could be potentially disastrous for him. So there is a moral to take there.
Yeah, it's just Marge is a giver, so there you go.
So then Apu and his mother crash into the house, and this is a line that I've always used. Honey, I am in my home. I do like that.
Yeah, just that little stiff way of saying it.
Exactly.
Like, hello, dear, and they shake hands. How was your day?
Yeah, Apu's mother was so sinister towards Marge,
Oh,
though.
man.
I'm
Yeah,
very, very disappointed.
No, even before that, I was like, I have come to see the woman for which Apu will shame his family and culture.
Yeah.
Well, hello.
Here I am.
And Homer just, again, capitalizing. He's such a jerk in this, but I forgive Homer in this episode. He does get his comeuppance at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he just goes, okay, Apu, you better go fix that broken toilet. Marge will yell at you again. Homer out.
Sucker.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Marge, again, like a trooper, convinces the children to go along with it.
You know your father, Apu,
Yeah.
nodding.
And I did love Bart and Lisa's, yeah.
Like, sure, why not?
What the fuck is happening this week in our family? Whatever. Okay, roll with it.
And then Homer, kicked out of house and home, heads to the only place he goes to, Moe's, but Moe's is closed down.
He's going on vacation.
Yeah, finally going to see Easter Island. Oh, you're going to see the big hits, huh? The what?
The what?
Just
I like that Homer knew about it.
Yeah.
Maybe because he wanted to go to Easter Island and it wasn't filled with chocolate bunnies.
Yeah, that's true.
It's one of those weird jokes that I like, but I shouldn't.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, it's weird.
They actually bring it round again
Yeah,
later
yeah.
when they're Apu's at the bar depressed before the wedding, where Mo is wearing an Easter Island shirt.
So
Is he?
went-
I didn't notice.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
nice little...
It's really clever because they don't actually do it like a direct angle on it. It's always like slightly off to the side and you can just make out a head or you can read the word Easter or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a really nice subtle touch.
I mean, it implies he also enjoyed it, so good on you, Mo.
When he bought the shirt.
Yeah.
There you go.
Instead, he heads to the retirement home. And this is a really nifty little self-contained B story within
Yeah,
the second
I totally
act.
forgot about this whole
Yeah,
part
yeah.
and I loved it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
great, where he's like, well, I have to be somewhere. May as well go visit Dad. And then they think he's Cornelius Chapman.
Yeah.
Which, actually, come to think, that's another continuity bit, isn't there? Because in the...
Cornelius Talmadge.
Talmadge, yeah, but Cornelius Talmadge is the oldest member of Springfield in that episode where he dies. And Britney Spears is there. And Mr. Burns is then the second oldest man in Springfield.
I think you might be right.
I know I am, because it's me.
Nice.
My circuits don't lie.
Beep. Beep, beep, motherfucker.
I want to hear Beej's cover of My Hips Don't Lie with My Circuits Don't Lie.
It would have to be my chips don't lie.
Ah, of course.
Come on.
You have to sing in Shakira voice though.
But like
Featuring-
highly auto-tuned. You know my chips don't lie. And a bleep bloop bloop.
Breasts like mountains.
That line makes no difference. Look at my wrists so small and humble.
Oh, that's the one.
Where's mountains? It's like, that wasn't going to happen to begin with. I'm confused. Do you know the difference between breasts and mountains?
Are
Shakira?
those breasts or mountains?
I'm confused.
Damn it, I want to get to the kitchen, but Sheridan's mountains are in the way. Says, it's winter now. I'm thinking of taking a trip out to the Blue Breasts. Do a little skiing, maybe some bushwalking.
I keep my wrists small and humble. What a horrible voice. Why was she famous?
Underneath your
'Cause she was hot.
clothes,
Shakira.
there's some other clothing.
There's some underwear.
Usually when you have the male voice getting in there, like the male guest rapper that's like Shakira, and then
Yeah.
you get like an Alia type sounding voice that's like, not,
I want to see like Sheridan just replace Shakira quietly. Just walk up behind him and like, hey, Shakira, what? Puts her down. Feel like, is that Shakira? She looks shorter, but whatever.
she looks suddenly topless and fat.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be, well, okay, what's the full title again?
I can't even remember anymore.
Where's my Hawaiian shirt? Why am I suddenly topless
Lucky
and
that
fat?
my breasts are small and humble since I'm suddenly topless and fat.
And also I've replaced Shakira. Shh. Don't tell anyone. The title alone could become a mini-series.
It's true. Okay, how did we get onto Shakira?
So back to the B plot of this episode, where Homer goes to the retirement castle. Like, it did kind of feel like they were filling in time, but it didn't matter. It was natural to the story, and it sort of also played into Homer being really lazy in this episode.
He's just like, well, they just give him pills, and he's like, oh, well, now let's see what you got here.
The pink one stopped you from screaming.
Yeah, and then he sees a guy in a wheelchair. He's like, here I am using my legs like a sucker.
I know, and this kicks off this little feud with Jasper as well,
Yeah, that's right.
racing to get to the dinner.
So good.
Yeah, it's so perfect. So they jump back to the A plot briefly, and there's a bit with Apu.
No, it's there not so much for jokes, but just for an establishment for later on when it all goes wrong. So Apu's sleeping in a sleeping bag on the floor. Marge is obviously in the bed. And he's like, thanks a whole bunch for all this. She really, truly hates you.
Such an interesting delivery of such a horrible line.
Yeah.
And I like how, breakfast the next morning, even Lisa, the traditionally smart one, is asking, what's with the dot?
Does it change colors when you get ticked off? You tell me.
It's funny because then she's like, surely you know about your Brahmin heritage. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just because I was reading about that last week for the first time, I know what that means.
Nice.
Of what heritage?
Brahmin.
Ah.
It's
type of
traditionally in the
Indian
caste system, the Brahmins are basically at the top of the caste system, most important.
That's right.
And in the caste system, you're expected to marry within your caste traditionally.
Yep.
Oh.
Not so much anymore, and it doesn't mean that that's the way it happens. But
Yeah.
you used to be expected to.
I have Indian friends who like have trouble telling their families they hang out because they're in different castes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I was
it's
reading a big
weird.
long article about caste discrimination that's still happening in Australia,
Yeah.
Huh.
which is quite horrible to read about.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean, tradition and all, but also fuck off.
Yeah, no, it goes further than that. It's I won't go into it now because it'll take too long. But
Yeah.
there's parts of it that, really quite horrible discrimination that goes on because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And what you'll find is that I don't know enough about it to, have the final word, obviously. I'm not Hindu, but what you'll find is that a lot of it has been used against people in the past. Like certain castes weren't able to be employed,
Mm-hmm.
this and that. So anyway, so basically Apu is part of a caste that's right at the top of the system.
Oh.
And it's quite prestigious. And so he would be expected to marry Manjula,
Yeah.
who would be Brahmin also.
That actually adds in a lot of extra weight to this episode where she's all like, the woman you've thrown out your family and heritage for. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's right. Yeah, it's quite, that caste is made up of sort of the high priests and who, funnily enough, decided that the high priests were the top caste. So,
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
So
Anyway.
does that tie back to when they had that chart and they were like agreeing which kid would marry which?
No, I think it's just a sight gag.
Yeah, that's just a family tree thing, whatever.
All right, cool.
But I do really like the line of after she's like, surely you aren't fully caught up in your Brahmin heritage, and the kid's like, yes, so long as you have no follow-up questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to go now.
Yeah.
Love that bit. Especially a little teamwork from Bart and Lisa.
Yeah. Yeah, they were working solidly today
Yeah.
to go along with this whole thing.
They both wanted
Yeah.
to know about the dot, and they both realized they were in over their heads and kind of
Yeah.
backed out together. It was really good. I really liked it.
But yeah, rare moment of Lisa just being a curious kid as well. So yeah, we cut back to the B story for one last time, and they do this bit here where Homer just goes through and says hello to everyone, and it was funny because it was like total old-timey names, but it was good because it was enforcing that is now established here.
Yeah, he's comfortable in his patterns and he's just
And then
hanging
it's
out.
Dad, Cornelius.
Yeah. And then, Jasper comes in with the wheelchair, and Homer's like, oh, I've got the electric one this time.
Have a little race, and he just gets up and runs. Yeah. Someone really likes their liver mush.
But Homer has been just depleting and depleting and depleting in his, his abilities.
Yeah.
He's sitting there sucking on a bag that's actually liquid Lay's chips.
Yeah, put in an IV drip bag.
Yeah.
Also, I think I'm forming a bed sore. What do you have to do to get turned around here?
Yeah, this was the best. So then he sort of half turns over into this boudoir pose
Yeah.
to wait for the nurse to turn him over fully.
Like, hey, what's Lucky hooked up to? It's a respirator. It breathes for him. And here I am using my lungs like a sucker.
Yeah, I like that just before he can go on the totally helpless deep end, Cornelius turns up and it's like, my family rescued me. I went on a bit of a bender.
Yeah, it's a good moment. That's just wait. If you're Cornelius, then who's this open window Homer running across the field holding his pants?
Beautiful bit of animation.
It's just like he had enough foresight to go, nope, run.
Yeah. And Simpsons are wont for a good window gag, and I like that one that, varied it up a little bit by having Homer still in his underpants with his pants
But then we
blowing
get
in the breeze.
a great join back of the A and B coming back together when Homer's lying in bed with Marge, Apu's on the floor. It's just like, oh, it's wonderful, Marge. Promise me when I retire, you'll put me in a home. It's like being a baby, and only you're old enough to appreciate it.
Yeah, totally.
And Apu's mother walks in and is like, okay, well, I'm satisfied and I'm ready to go home, and catches me, and then Apu's like, oh, Marge, how could you?
Yeah. And even, I just love this moment of she's being like, the jig is up. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
Give it up,
exactly.
Apu.
Yeah. Homer was a bit obnoxious when, Apu divulges the details, and Homer just goes, lying to your mother.
I love that bit, because it's like before when he was just forgot the details of the entire lie he told him to tell.
Yeah.
And then it all gets supported by the, well, you know what you could do?
Shut up.
You could always fake your own
Shut
death.
Shut up.
All you need is a car ball.
Can't believe you don't shut up.
I love that line. I can't believe you don't shut up.
Yeah. So Act 3 starts out, and it's another wedding at the Simpsons house for whatever reason.
Yeah.
No, they do
That's
it a
the
lot.
playlist before you ask me that later.
Yeah. Yeah, the actual wedding at the Simpsons, just nitpicking, didn't really make sense to me that it'd have to be at the Simpsons, and also that they got Reverend Lovejoy there.
But they sort of mentioned that earlier because Lisa,
Yeah,
you know,
just quickly,
when they're talking about the wedding arrangements, she's like, why is she still living here?
Yeah.
Like after the jig is up.
It's one of those weird things where I shouldn't like the fact they've referenced that it doesn't make sense she's still there, but that somehow works.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
maybe because they didn't make a big deal of it, they were just kind of like, why is she still here?
No, I mean, I guess it would have been, you know, a bit much to ask the animators to draw a new location or
Well-
justify that the Springfield has a Hindu temple.
Yeah, well, that and the show's called The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be perfectly honest, why is Apu at a bachelor auction to begin with?
That's true. In the crowd,
Yeah.
watching it.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
if you really want to get into
Was
it.
he-
Good point.
Was he just there for Krusty?
Maybe. That's the thing. It's one of those things where I'm like, hey, why is he? And I'm like, well, maybe he just. There's 1,000 ways you could explain that.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just like, man, fuck it. This is
Well,
what's
the
on
whole,
tonight.
the whole town was there. It's like
Yeah,
a town
exactly.
meeting. They go to everything because there's nothing else to do
Yeah.
in Springfield.
Maybe he's just a big Krusty fan. But yeah, okay. I mean, it was organic enough that you didn't care, but you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
nitpicky show.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he just really wanted to support the firefighters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. It's a fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Answer my own question. Well done, me.
So they cut to Moe's, and Apu's all depressed and getting worried about the arranged marriage. And I love how he's doing the sad reprise of Hot Blooded.
Yes. Hot blooded. Check it and see. Got a fever. 103.
I also do quite like when Homer's like, hey, Mo, what do you have for the severe depression? Booze, booze, and more booze.
Yeah.
But then the tap literally just
The
says
beer
booze.
tap
Oh,
says
does it?
booze. Yeah.
Wow, nice little sight gag. And then, yeah, the obvious gag of the depressed drunks all going, nothing better for depression than booze. Oh, yeah. Anyway, cut back to the wedding, and I love how the elephant's walking through in Bart. So I wish I had an elephant.
You did.
His name was Stampy. You loved him.
Oh, yeah.
And and we
Yeah.
covered that episode recently, so good to see an
Ooh,
elephant again.
elephant playlist.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Simpsons episodes that remind you of elephants. And Apu's just like worried and, you know, nervous and wants something, the gods to help him. And Homer's like, gods, eh?
Yeah.
But we'll get back to that.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
Will we ever?
and following another thing, he sees a mouse, which, you know, everyone knows
Classic.
mouse will scare an elephant. The elephant just brutally crushes him.
Lucky mouse.
Good line from Apu as well. Wedding ceremony's underway, and Manjula is out, and then all of a sudden Homer comes out in his Ganesh costume.
Yeah, and he starts causing a ruckus. And just, this wedding angers me. And the guy's like, that is not Ganesh. Ganesh is graceful.
I am Ganesh.
Yeah, which is good story-wise because it buys just enough time for Apu and Manjula to have a little, quick little, hey, what's up? Isn't
Chat.
this weird? What's
Yeah.
your favorite movie, book, and film?
Fried green tomatoes.
And he's like, boom, zing, nice one.
Yeah.
So and then he's like, this woman knows her shtick. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love Homer's attempt here because I guess this episode really shows how in the moment he is. And like he just doesn't think of consequences. And this one, it's not exactly a horrible web of lies.
No, he means well.
It's just a moderate web of lies.
Yeah.
It's a terrible attempt to fix things, but he meant well.
Stop chasing Ganesh. You only incur my wrath.
He's just up the tree and they're poking him.
We have him subdued.
Ganesh has been subdued.
Manjula gets introduced around this point and played by the late great Jan Hooks, fantastic voice actor that unfortunately passed away a few years ago. I thought she was good. Like she really sold the cuteness of Manjula and like how spontaneously in this moment they'd fall together.
Yeah, considering she has like 6 lines.
Yeah.
You feel like you get enough
Yeah.
character out of it, and that's a lot of the delivery, and, the lines obviously themselves help, but just, the way they landed feel really gentle and natural and
And good
speak to her
animation to
personality.
support that too, I think, because there's something about Manjula's eyes that make her look very sort of attractive and yet understanding and gentle. There's just, I don't know how you managed to do that in a 2D cartoon, but they did it.
Yeah.
Her physicality as well. She's always sort of like holding her hands in front of her
Yeah,
body,
standing
which
quite
is
humbly but
Yeah.
confident.
It's a very mild but confident. Yeah, very good.
yeah, and like her sharp wit as well. You can tell there's a lot going on up there as well, and how she sort of fucks women as well. Oh no, you're getting a haircut and all that stuff. And,
I thought you said that she fucks women.
And that's what it sounded like for a second. So,
Right.
hi, editing Elliot. Enjoy that one.
yeah. So that's all I got to say on this episode. And you guys?
My last note is the Indian version of Birds Suddenly Appear.
Oh, yes.
Oh, fantastic! And this is a reoccurring theme for love in The Simpsons, not just with Homer and Marge, although it feels like their love theme. But
Yeah, sure.
it does come back, and I love how they just did it again with Shanice and the Indian language. Beautiful.
Yeah. It's one of those tunes that's recognizable, but then the vocals kick in. You're like, that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice way to end.
Yeah, with the Carpenters.
And then Ganesh screaming.
Give me some for thumps. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of wacky and a little bit of thump just to fade out on the episode with.
Sorry, just on that last fade out is the elephant's flipped Homer upside down, is banging his head on the ground. But his last line is, everyone's upside down. Just faintly hear it as you're panning out. It's great.
Yeah, another little, like, for the love of crumb cake. Blink, stop listening and you'll listen it.
Yeah.
I mean, like when your ears blink, never mind.
What?
Don't listen to me.
See a doctor.
Yeah.
Ears don't do that.
Ears don't
Wow.
blink.
Elephants don't have
I
keys.
thought the exact same line. It is time for the questionnaire. So, play count. How many times do you think you've seen it?
Oh, 20 plus,
Yeah.
I'd say. It's just those classic episodes. You see them all the time.
Yeah.
A Ganesh load.
That's a whole elephant with 4 arms. Yeah, I think I've seen this at least 50 times. Like, this is just, classic to me in my eyes. Any memories of how parts of this episode influenced your life? I think I've quoted the
Yes.
Ganesh thing a bunch.
And I can't believe you don't shut up.
Yeah.
And again, I've definitely gone, I'm not attractive.
Aw.
I don't mean it for sympathy. It's just occasionally you're just like,
Yeah.
Geez, a lot of it, but just in bits and pieces.
Yeah. It actually did make me want to yodel. I think I'm going to look into seeing how I could get one now.
Yep. Sounds
Import
good.
one.
Yeah. That must have been a damn good chocolate bar.
Yodel importation business. It'd probably be stale by the time it got here, though. That's a shame. We could make our own.
Yes. Did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cut and dry. Wackiness.
Not very.
Yeah, I mean, the wackiest I suppose it gets is Homer dressed as Ganesh. Somehow he
Yeah.
got that costume. But that's
Yeah.
not, that's completely
It seems
possible.
very
It's-
homemade.
It's very doable. It's a pretty good costume, I'm going to say.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can.
yes, the arms fall off, but
Yeah.
they look like arms. And
It's
they
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to think it's like the mannequin arms from that time he faked his death.
So yeah, it's completely doable. Someone can do that. We could if we got a Ganesh costume right now, we could do it. So
Yeah.
not so wacky.
Yeah, it wasn't wacky at all, really. How about the heart? Lots of heart.
Lots
Yeah,
of heart.
talking about it, I kind of thought about it a lot more in terms of Homer helping out Apu and Marge being along for the ride, obviously to help out Apu, and Apu's desperate plea to surely this wackiness shows you how much I don't want to get married, and of course Apu and Manjula right at the end. Yeah, it's loaded.
Loaded with heart.
But I like how they set it up with Apu just being so reluctant to this idea and having him enjoy his bachelor life so much, and then for him to come around at the end, and they really made Manjula look like a special lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite beautiful, really.
And even then, we're just like, oh well, if it doesn't work, we can get divorced.
USA. Not what he said, but
God bless America.
yeah, that's right. So yes or no?
Yes.
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 All right. Playlist. Weddings at the Simpsons house or
Elephants.
just elephants?
Elephants.
Yep,
Apu episodes.
definitely. And Manjula episodes.
Yeah.
Want to make a separate playlist?
Characters believing they're gods.
Yeah.
Luann being annoying.
She's she's not that annoying.
She's
in this episode.
annoying.
In this one, not so much, but in future ones, we see the true Luann.
Her trying not to be annoying in this episode annoys me even more.
Yeah, this is her sweet.
Yeah, sweet Luann. You're just like, oh, stop.
Also, wait a second. Why the fuck is she even?
She's divorced Kirk by this point.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why, because he's standing in the reject zone going, you better have
that's
enough
all right.
left over to pay my alimony, Luann.
My apologies. I forgot about that part.
Let's rank it.
Okay.
Shez, kick it off.
Ooh,
Yeah, I
I
know.
think, it's tough.
It is.
I think I'm going to go gold.
Yeah?
Yep.
Cool.
Reasoning being, I think it was really quick moving.
Mm-hmm.
I think the B story was as a B story should be. It
Yep.
was short and sharp and funny the whole way through and not particularly relevant, but it still tied in. I think Homer lines in this were just incredible.
Yeah.
Again, short and sharp, even though it wasn't a Homer-centric episode, but the Simpsons themselves really supported the story well. And I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Gold.
All right, BT, what do you think?
I was sitting on a gold zirconia, and I'm just trying to feel out where my guts are going. I think I'm going to go with a cubic because
It's a big call from you.
I know, and it's tough to say because, like I said, you could easily say gold because it is a little bit lighter on the laughs. But I do think this one has such a great structure, and I really like how the B story organically breaks off and then organically comes back in again. And I think it's one without a lot of fat. There's not a lot you could trim and be fine with.
True.
Because it's all just carries over and is essential to the plot. Yeah, I, now that I've said it out loud, I have no problems with that. So unless I blurt out my own objection later, I think I'm going to stick this at a cubic.
Woohoo.
Fair enough. All right, and I'm going a gold as well. And I got to say, I was actually on the border of silver before we
really?
were talking, and I actually talked myself up as I've been noticing, actually, yeah, there was amazing fluidity to this episode.
Yeah, that's what I really like. I really like the story in this one, and I love the structure of it, which is what's pushed it over the line for me.
Yeah. But for me, what bumps it down from cubic to gold is, a bit lighter on the jokes, and there's a few, like just weird bits about it that you sort of go, hang on. But ultimately, it's a fantastic episode and totally recommend, and being important as well for changing the continuity of the show, that it didn't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Like, it did a character-changing thing in a time where they'd probably be criticized for doing that, and they nailed it.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to put that as another feather in his cap. It doesn't reset to 0.
Yeah.
But,
That about does it for the Simpsons Index, episode 41. Thank you, Sheridan and BT, for joining me in the dank this evening.
Thank you for joining me in the deck this evening, Elliot J. O'Neill.
I've been shirtless and fat.
Suddenly topless.
Topless.
All right, we're going to go hit up Newtown's most exclusive bars and restaurants.
Under $20.
If you see us there, say hi. Oh, wait, this isn't going live. Anyway, I've been your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. Thanks for listening, and that's all the mustard in the house.
Oh, God.
The index we have made.
Thank you for checking out the Simpsons Index podcast. Don't forget to go to www.thesimpsonsindex.com for the spreadsheet and information about upcoming episodes.
And for today's extra content,
All right, and yes, thank the what do I usually do here? Yes, and this is the Simpsons Index.
What is this, episode 41, and you forgot what
Yeah,
you do?
still don't know how I do the intros.
Line, please.
Spice.
Could be biting back as much laughter as you have.
But just still failing. Being a professional, eating as much laughter as possible, but still just...
I'm going to the one place that has not been corrupted by capitalism.
Spice.
Podcast listeners, just, we're actually starting off the drunkest we will be, and we'll move down as we go.
Yeah, because in a very un-Australian move, all the bottle shops are shut today.
What, mate? What? Fuck.
And I was the only one who remembered to visit the bottle shop yesterday, so more cider for me. Funnily enough, I think I'm the least drunk here, however.
Hey, I visited 5 closed bottle shops today, so I put in
You
the
did.
work, okay?
So you
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah.
I've done 5 times as much work for 5 times less results.
We tried our damn
Points for
doodly
trying.
list.
It's kind of like how Jesus, when he went to visit 5 inns on his birthday, which is Easter,
You're
and
just
then
so many wrongs.
Keep going.
the cashier denied him
A
service.
bank loan.
Jesus Christ was denied a bank loan. Hey, we broke Elliot. Nice work, man.
Sorry. Comedy is often just what you're not expecting. And all that.
Jesus' apostles slipped the innkeeper a 20. They all came out and sung happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Got him a little carrot cake.
We should have just set up at the pub and done it there today. Honestly.
Yeah, would have been fun.
Pub episode.
Whack. Sorry.
Whack.
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 That is whack.
Whack.
That's quack.
No, when you're a penguin, it's whack.
Whack. That's wicked.
Where you gonna...
Whack.
This is the Simpsons Index, and I'm Elliot J. Duck.
Oh, that's...
So let's talk about the quackiness.
Boo.
All right, take 4. Wackiness.
Quackiness.
And it'll be season 13, Sweet and Sour Marge. We will be back.
I'm looking forward
Oh, is
to
it the
this
one where she gets like flashbacks to when she killed that guy?
No.
Oh man, which one is it?
Kill
You
a
were
guy.
thinking of a different show.
When
Different episode.
Different show. Marge has never killed anyone.
So guys, what did you think?
thought it was quite delightful.
Oh my gosh, you should be. Wow, you're every mosquito in my bedroom after I turn off the light.
Oh,
Hate those guys.
The worst.
Now, alright, what pisses me off is, okay, it happened once. I'm like, okay, there's a mosquito in the room. I'm just going to lie still and let it get full and then leave me alone. 'cause
Oh, no.
It doesn't work.
They
no.
never get
I know.
full.
How are they? How? They're tiny.
I don't
And
know.
I have so much blood to give.
Yeah.
have you ever popped one and it's like, oh my god, you were a water balloon filled with my blood?
Yes, that's where all my blood went.
Give it back.
I smashed one once that I'd been trying to catch for about 2 months, and there was a streak of my blood down my wardrobe door that went for at least 30 centimeters.
Wow.
Malaysian noodle house.
Cinnamon.
Malaysian noodle house.
Malaysian noodle house.
Malaysian noodle house. Malaysian noodle house. Damn it.
Malaysian Noodle House.
Malaysian noodle.
Malaysian noodle house.
Malaysian noodle house.
Malaysian noodle
Malaysian
house.
noodle house. Malaysian noodle house. Oh, you know what? It doesn't matter.
German Strudel House.
Ooh. German strudel house. German
German
strudel
strudel
house.
Okay, try going strudel house, noodle house, strudel house, noodle house.
Strudel house, noodle house. Strudel
Malaysian
house, noodle
invasion.
house.
Malaysian invasion.
It's not
Strudel
hard, but it's
house,
fun.
Noodle house.
I like things that aren't hard but fun. Like podcasting. We are back and we just watched...
I'd like to see the episode where someone finally diagnoses Wendell with irritable bowel syndrome or whatever the hell makes him so pale all the time.
Irritable vom syndrome.
Vom syndrome, and then he all of a sudden he's like, I can function as a
leukemia.
human being now, and becomes a super successful billionaire.
They did.
They did.
I got you.
Oh, give me land, lots of land, and the starry skies above. Don't fence me in.
Ba-dum, bo, bo.
Oh, that was quite nice.
No, just pat her gently on the head and say something reassuring like, "You're worth every day."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
You old honey dripper.
Ew.
Later, man.
Bye.
That's how I keep the ladies away.
Honey dripper.
Just being, hey, want some honey?
Honey for my honey. Sorry.
Sweets for my sweets.
Tea for my bag.
Wow.